This live stream video is not intended to incite hate towards any particular individual or entity, but for the purposes of consumer education and consumer protection. All individuals included in this live stream video have published their content to social media publicly and present themselves as public figures. Therefore, per YouTube privacy guidelines, it is not required that I conceal the faces and usernames of these individuals.
Hello, my name is Carl Dykler. I'm chairman and CEO of Beachbody, a $400 million direct marketing company specializing in health and fitness. You might have seen our products advertised on TV, programs like P90X, Turbo Jam, Hip Hop Abs, and Slim & Six. 2 years ago, we launched a new distribution concept that's been so successful, I'm convinced it's about to completely redefine the $60 billion business of fitness and weight loss and capture massive market share in a very short time. Now I'm proud to share this incredible opportunity with you. In fact, I want to ask you to truly become my partner in our mission to get people healthy and fit. Getting involved now and securing your position could completely transform your financial future. Okay, well maybe it'll help to know a little bit more about who I am. Why listen to me? Well, I'm an entrepreneur who lives in Los Angeles with my wife and 2 children. I've worked in direct marketing for 25 years, and 11 years ago, I launched a company called Product Partners with John Congdon. And we built this business into a powerful $400 million a year brand. And 2 years ago, we had another breakthrough in our business model. Instead of doing the obvious thing and selling our hit infomercial products through retail stores, we asked a handful of our customers to become independent distributors. We call them coaches, but they're not fitness or nutrition experts. These are people who simply love the products and love sharing them with people because they actually work. They're coaches in that they want to help people achieve something special. And in just 2 years, thousands of people with an entrepreneurial spirit and commitment to helping others have joined our mission. Some people have purchased new cars, gone on incredible family vacations, paid off their credit card debt, and paid off their mortgages. We've already paid out over $31 million, including some families who've already earned over $1 million each in under 2 years. And others still are working with one thing in mind: use this opportunity to achieve their dreams. And all that just from phase 1, before we had everything in place to roll this concept out. Well, now it's time to kick off the training wheels from phase 1 and launch into phase 2, an all-out push to find entrepreneurs and leaders who see that a business that's proven to get results, has solid momentum, and is the only company of its kind really is a billion-dollar opportunity. It's called Team Beachbody, an extension of the parent Beachbody, offering the very programs we've made famous on TV. With $100 million a year in advertising, that's an enormous amount of exposure and opportunity for you. And we've combined our catalog of fitness programs with a breakthrough in nutrition. It's called Shakeology, the healthiest meal of the day. Shakeology is what they call a market disruptor, because while competitors have come up with Me Too energy drinks and antioxidant juices, we've created the absolute highest quality weight loss and health shake on the market today, period. The absolute best. This isn't a complicated business. You're watching this video because someone suggested you might be interested in securing your position as we launch this major phase of our growth. So here's my invitation. I'm providing you the opportunity to get positioned right now in my company for this explosive move into phase 2 of our growth. And we've even created a way for it to be risk-free. You can become the CEO of your own business as what we call an independent Team Beachbody coach. We're going to make sure that you have everything you need to be successful. The moment you sign up, your position is secured, and your Team Beachbody website is ready to be launched with simple tools you can use to share this very same presentation with people you know. We send every new coach a kit to give you the fundamentals to get started. It's a step-by-step method that we know works to build a business. And here's the best part. You never have to load up on product inventory to sell. That means no inventory filling your garage. We handle all the shipping, billing, and customer service, just like we've done for the last 11 years. Your job is to simply use our tools to get the word out and follow up with at least 2 people a day. I've built a $400 million business based on one simple fact. It really is possible to strike it rich if you have a simple system and a great product that satisfies a big market. That's exactly why Team Beachbody is going to be so successful. And like I said, it's risk-free. You get to kick the tires for 30 days. If this doesn't live up to your expectations, let us know you're out and we'll refund your money. It's just that simple. You've just invested a few minutes with me, And I want to honor that by working with you to help people get healthy and fit and provide you an amazing opportunity to achieve all your financial dreams. It's happened for me. It's happened for others during phase 1. And now it can happen for you as we enter the big growth of phase 2. I've been very successful with this business, but I know the biggest opportunity is right now. I see the numbers, I see the trends, and now the decision to go for it is yours. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to working with you. Let's get started.
Damn it, Carl.
I wanted to introduce that because that was his like join us in Team Beachbody type of video that he made, and then we're gonna listen to the freaking earnings call where we just see a completely different story, and he does that what's public and then what he talks to his investors, and it's like, buddy, people remember what you said, and also everyone's gonna hear what you said on that earnings call. So, Hey, live chat. We are so happy to see you, not hear you, but I'm DC. I'm an MLM dropout. I've never been in Beachbody. I just have a lot of big feelings about it after I found out all the crap that was going on from Amy, Cheryl, Amber, and Jen. Jen's going to be showing up a little bit later, and Amber is being an incredible parent to her kids today, but we are streaming to her channel, and would love to see y'all continue to support Amber, even though she can't be here today. I've been in 2 multi-level marketing companies, and you'd think, why did you join the second one after what happened in the first one? I don't know, but here I am. I'm fully out. I got out April 24th of 2022, and we've just been trying to educate ever since. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Cheryl and let her introduce herself to people who may not know who she is. And yeah, let's begin.
I am Cheryl Spears. I am an MLM dropout as well. Steadily, I was in Beachbody for 8 years, although I was in other MLMs, but Beachbody was consistent. Beachbody was the most triggering. Beachbody caused me the most pain, heartache, and financial loss, I guess you can say. And I'm just here to spread awareness and hopefully prevent everybody else from making the same mistakes that I did. And I'll pass it over to Amy.
Awesome. So I was also a Beachbody dropout. I have been in multiple MLMs as well, and even one after Beachbody. So I was a slow learner, but found that they were all the same. And that's really kind of what drove me into the anti-MLM movement, and also specifically Beachbody because it was so triggering and definitely the cause of most of my problems, physical, emotional, mental, and trying to overcome the just really horrible messaging that they have.
Yeah, horrible and dangerous. I mean, it's just, it's wild. We're going to be listening to Carl's earnings call for quarter 2. And he had some interesting things to say about the coaches that basically keep his business open. So we're going to listen to that. I'm going to pull up that link right now. And the reason his voice was a little bit higher, it was higher because he was younger, but I sped it up because it was already a long intro. So I was trying to like cut it down a little bit, and I didn't want to make him sound too much like a chipmunk, but I'm not really disappointed he did. So yeah, it made it a little bit more enjoyable for me. And navigate the stock market. No, I don't want to navigate the stock market. Okay. Let's see.
Now, Heather, it wasn't necessarily his real voice. It was sped up a little bit, but I mean,
just barely. It was barely like 10% sped up. So it was high. It was much higher. Much higher. Yep. Oh, jeez. Okay. I don't. Let me see. Let me try to click on this link again. Technical difficulties. It's Saturday. Oh, geez. Well, I'm eating some donuts for Autumn Calabrese. What up, bestie? And there's Jen. Hi, Jen. We just
And
finished
hey,
Hi.
and we're gonna surprise you and the mic over to you so you can introduce yourself to the live chat. We just literally finished. We're eating our snacks. I will.
I got a donut
Yeah, I got freaking donut holes, so we're ready. We're ready for you, beach
and some
body.
yogurt.
Heck yeah.
I like.
Um,
Wait, you have to see what Cheryl has, Jen.
Burger King.
Did you get an
This
Impossible
is-
Burger? My
actually
kids are
got a
right
burger-
here. They're trying to sneak in.
I actually, because I really wanted a bacon burger, I got the Bacon King today.
They saw my hand.
Ooh.
And
Heck yeah.
Coke.
I mean,
Oh,
if you're gonna
snap.
shame your kid for getting Burger King, at least get him one of the good burgers. Come on.
Right.
Did I share the nutritional information with each of those in our chat? I think I did. Like, they're not, the Impossible Burger isn't horrible if you get it without mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
And neither
Why
is
are we
the
shaming?
Whopper.
Wait, Kat can't find food in Virginia?
Oh, Kat is in Virginia?
Oh
Let
my
me go look at this. I'll be back.
God.
You
Okay.
start at 11, right?
Okay.
Give me 30 minutes. Thank you. I got to run my oldest to karate in like 30 minutes
Okay.
because dad's working. Hi.
Okay. Hey, Jen.
Yeah. My name is Jen. I am a certified personal trainer, former Beachbody coach, and I'm still livid from Ashley yesterday.
Yeah, Jen was saying that with me in the live chat of our Snarking on Ashley's Patreon podcast.
I fell asleep halfway through.
Yeah, that's okay. She was spicy at the beginning, and we were all here for it.
Yeah. And excuse the hot mess express this morning. I did like a 40-minute mobility work with my Anchor Fit Club group this morning. So
Amazing.
I meant to be showered and presentable for this today. It ain't happening.
Hey, I didn't shower either. I'm just here in my Tyrannosaurus Rex sweatshirt, and I'm ready to rag on Carl and eat my donuts in peace.
For all my
So ready to
VA
run.
peeps. For all my VA peeps, I'm taking a little bit of a look at Kat's stories, and it seems like Kat is in Roanoke, Virginia, which is it is a big city, pretty big city here in Virginia. There are healthy food options there.
Like
What?
I sent a message.
It is not a food desert. There are healthy food options there.
I haven't checked to see if one of my my burner accounts is blocked by Autumn yet, because I went off on her in the DMs yesterday.
Ooh.
I have friends and family that are in Scranton. I've been to Scranton, and I'm like, you could have gone to Subway and gotten a salad. You could have gone to Wendy's and gotten a salad.
Yeah.
I was looking too. There's some like really nice restaurants that are all like vegan or whatever she wanted. But the other thing, she also though is like, ooh, don't demonize any food.
She does it all the
He
time.
says that, but then, and I have some pretty good videos from a private group that she did with Joel. I think I've shared 2 reels so far.
Oh yeah, I shared that one about the warm. Oh, she did another one. Your company provides themselves finding. Oh, I'm looking at yours right now. Never mind.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, well, if you're, she's talking about lift more. Okay. And if you were finding that you're still hungry or whatever, maybe you've been eating for your green containers, maybe you've been eating salad and you should switch over to like broccoli or cruciferous vegetables. And maybe for your yellow, you should not have a piece of bread and you should have a potato. Who is going to guide people in this? Your coaches don't know anything. Your coaches don't know. So who's going to help?
Joel's face. I'm watching it right now.
There's
Joel's
no one.
face just looks annoyed. He's like, I have to listen to this
if
right
you got to
now.
the point where I was like, Joel, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
I want you to pay attention to what you're putting in those containers.
So eat off the top of the list is what she's saying.
They're like,
Dear
oh,
God.
for my green, I ate
I mean,
a bunch of salads.
whatever. Again, I don't really trust Autumn at this point because you're putting freaking Shakeology in a cookie recipe. So, and you're saying that there's no food around when there is food around. Good. And she. Oh my
Well,
God.
and when I
Joel
was in,
blink twice if you need rescue.
Blink, blink. Hi, Dave. Hi, Janet.
Hi,
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Lynn.
but when I was in, they told us not to cook with Shakeology because it broke down the nutrients, and they told
Yeah.
us not to cook with it.
Specifically the pre and probiotics.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Autumn.
That breaks down.
Dear God. And I bet the Beachbody team wrote that recipe for her and they got it ready to film for her, and then they're not even listening to their own advice that they've given to the general public.
Yeah.
Yep.
God dang.
So this yogurt would not be gut protocol approved. And it's delicious.
I'm sorry that I was ignoring you all, but I literally just was recording cat stories, and it enraged my husband as well because she stereotyped every single person who lives in Virginia and said,
wow.
"What the hell do you people eat here? Everything is fried."
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Not to cuss right now.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
I am dying. There is no food. Thank God we packed so much. Literally, this is the only thing I could find. Hard-boiled eggs. Everything is fried, deep fried, double fried. No.
Does she not have a grocery store to go to?
So I'm just going to eat what I have in my pack. Thank God for my Shakeology. Thank God for fruit. Thank God for veggies. But I cannot wait to eat when we get home.
Hold up. There's a Cracker Barrel in Virginia, right? I'm pretty sure because I had a friend who works there.
Yes. Roanoke,
One of
Virginia
our friends
has
is at
everything. Roanoke, Virginia has everything.
Jenny Perry. What's up? I saw your name, so I brought up Cracker Barrel.
Yep.
Oh my
Wow.
God. How can you even feel good about saying such an uneducated opinion or perspective about an entire state?
So my main account hasn't been blocked by her yet.
Healthy food in Roanoke, Virginia.
Wow.
Like, you just go on down the list. Pages.
Yeah, Kat, why don't you use your phone and maybe type in healthy food near me? Good God.
Maybe I'll go on. I might have to, send her that Google link in one of my burner accounts.
Wait, your coach? Oh my gosh! Did you guys see Heather's thing? Her coach had lunch with her child at school. It was Parents' Day, and she took all of her containers to the school to eat lunch. No.
Oh my gosh! Are you serious? What is going on? Hi, Tanya.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hijack that. That just really takes. I mean,
they all do it though. They all are such.
This is why we're live.
Yeah, they come from such a snobby position, an uneducated and snobby position, which is wild to be both at the same time. I mean, some people are, but they say, "I can't find any food." You can't? Why don't you Google it? What the heck?
I'm not blocked from my main account from Kat, but I'm about to give her a piece of my mind. So
good.
I'll go ahead and
screenshot it.
Screenshot. I will.
All right. Let me know if y'all can hear this. I'm gonna try to play the call, but I'm just gonna have our faces up here so we don't have to do this side thing because it should just play through the sound. So we'll see.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Beachbody Company's second quarter 2022 earnings call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Following the presentation, we will conduct a question and answer session. Instructions will be provided at that time for you to queue up for questions. If anyone has any difficulties hearing the conference, please press star 0 for operator assistance at any time. I would like to remind everyone that this conference call is being recorded. And I will now turn the conference over to Eddie Plank, Beachbody's Group Vice President of Investor Relations.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our second quarter 2022 earnings call. With me on the call today are Carl Dykler, co-founder, chairman, chief executive officer of the Beachbody Company, and Mark Sweden, chief financial officer. Following Carl's and Mark's prepared remarks, we'll open the call up for questions. Before we get started, I would like to remind you of the company's safe harbor language. The statements contained in this conference call, which are not historical facts, may be deemed to constitute forward-looking statements within the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Actual future results may differ materially from those suggested in such statements due to a number of risks and uncertainties, all of which are described in the company's filings with the SEC, which includes today's press release. Today's call will include references to non-GAAP financial measures, such as adjusted EBITDA. A reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to the most comparable GAAP financial measures
fast forwarding
is
the
available
boring
within the
part.
earnings release, which can be found on our website. Now, I would like to turn the call over to Carl.
Carl.
Thank you, Eddie, and good afternoon, everyone. We're very proud of our performance in the second quarter. We were able to adapt quickly, focus, and execute in the face of a challenging macro.
Were we looking at the same numbers? Because I am not a financial expert, but Carl, are you serious? You're proud of your performance in the second quarter? God dang it. And does he know that people are actually listening to him say this stuff? It's like he's trying to play poker and hope that no one calls him out on his SHIT, his shit.
Well, and keep in mind, like, these are the investors. The investors know very well what's going on. So you can snow your coaches, but these are all financial advisors. These are all people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, and these people are people who invested in Beachbody, right? The people that, that's rude. That's so freaking rude to come out like that and talk to your investors like that, because they know. They have access to all that information.
I want to play poker with Carl and Ashley and take all of their money.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I miss playing poker.
Say it with your whole chest, Carl. Seriously.
Pro environment. And as a result, we delivered revenue in line with our guidance and adjusted EBITDA that was ahead of our guidance, reflecting continued progress on our strategy to make Beachbody more efficient, effective, and productive. With laser focus on execution and cash flow management, we achieved material savings in the second quarter, reducing cash burn by nearly $38 million and lowering operating expenses by more than 20% compared to the first quarter. This reflects increased variability within our cost structure and continued expense discipline. As a result of these actions, we ended the quarter with $57 million of cash on hand. In addition, today we announced that we entered into a $50 million debt financing agreement with Blue Torch Capital, with the potential to increase by another $25 million. The transaction will enhance our financial.
Does that mean he had to borrow more money?
And in the past, he's been super proud that they didn't have any debt on the balance sheet. Like, that's something that he's been very vocal about. And now he's trying to spin having to borrow money as a good thing. Because they don't have enough cash on hand for what they need to do, and they're going through it way too fast.
Yeah, guess they didn't sell enough bikes. I mean, and again, it's wild. I am not in the production side of marketing. I'm not like on the creation side of it in terms of like actual manufacturing, but I am shocked that, and again, I'm no dissing to Mix necessarily, but you see Mix and you see how plasticky it looks, how much it wobbles when you're on it. You see the screen, you just see the aesthetic of it. And yeah, it's significantly cheaper than Peloton. Okay, great. But is it a product that you're going to invest millions of dollars into and say, this is a good fit for our brand? I mean, sure, you use Shakeology, so maybe your judgment is limited, but still the mix bike doesn't seem like, and again, I'm not trying to shade people, but people could buy $150 super solid bike without a screen on Amazon, and they could put an iPad, and they could get an iPad for like, I don't know, $350, and you could have a bike setup for $500.
Shameless plug here. Shameless plug. I bought an Echelon bike on Amazon for around $400 to $500, and we had an extra iPad sitting around, and I was actually able to hack it to use it with Peloton. Yeah. You know, so I mean, it's capable, and it's actually a better bike than what the mixed bikes are, because it doesn't wobble. It's very stable. Yes, I'm selling it if you saw it on my IG locally. But that's because I want a Peloton. I want the screen and I want all that stuff. Yeah. But it's still a good option.
You found out that you like the program. And,
exactly.
And Peloton bikes are great. A lot of my friends use it with Peloton. Yeah. The price is here today. Yeah. We are so mad from Ashley yesterday. I still have big feelings about it. And I'm mad. I'm so mad.
Yeah. I want to say I'm glad Jenny's in the chat for this call, because this is her wheelhouse. Oh, so she's going to be dropping some knowledge in the comments.
Awesome.
In the live chat.
Make sure to put those on the screen. Oh, Carl.
We continue to execute on our strategic goals, During the quarter, we also focused on profitable customer acquisitions through new content releases, our highly effective proprietary sales network, and disciplined marketing, despite continued softness across the industry. These results reflect solid initial progress on our one brand strategy. This strategy, which we initiated at the beginning of the year, demonstrates our ability to adapt quickly to economic realities. The one brand strategy isn't just about costs. It's about unlocking the full potential of our massive category and our unique assets as we consolidate the great content of our platforms and leverage the subscriber scale of Beachbody On Demand. Last month, we reached an important milestone as we completed the migration of all our content onto the Beachbody platform, adding 20 additional programs and roughly 1,000 standalone workouts all in a single day, creating the largest content drop in our history and adding to our already significant library of evergreen content. This considerable library of assets is what powers our flywheel, where each program title can drive new customer acquisition, customer engagement, and ultimately brand loyalty.
Brand loyalty?
Profitable subscriber acquisition and nutrition upsells with 3 recently launched programs: 4-Week Gut Protocol, Fire and Flow, and 4 Weeks for Everybody. These strategic offerings both bolster our future category and market potential over time and can drive immediate revenue and expanding the LTV of our current customers. As you know, in tough times, strengthening and expanding relationships with current customers is key. In the third quarter, we're continuing to grow our nutritional portfolio with the introduction of the First Thing and Last Thing supplements.
Oh my God. Carl. What?
So I'm looking at on Business Wire right now. As of December 31st, 2021, their total company assets were $637,612. As of June 30th, 2020, this is unaudited, $490,039 was their total assets.
Wow. Freaking read the room, Carl. Seriously. Someone in your marketing department, if you're watching this, if you find like all the negative stuff being said about Beachbody, someone needs to get through to Carl because you're missing the mark and he's out of control and he's letting y'all make really bad decisions. Dear God. I mean, sure, are we going to be glad if Beachbody goes down? Maybe a little bit. But still, there's lots of people who have jobs who are employed by Beachbody in probably their production facilities, and I don't know where else, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just mad.
Well, and he acts like OpenFit was this great big thing. It was fully planned. John Congdon started it over here. And in my opinion, I think part of it is so that they could get something established without the coach network.
Yeah.
So because OpenFit had affiliates, OpenFit did it all differently.
Yep.
And then move it in. And I think it's kind of getting him to be able to phase out the coaches and introduce an affiliate portion.
Yeah. I mean, that would be better. To where if it was just based off affiliates, I mean, we would have less bad things to say. Now, are those affiliates, are they going to actually try the products? I mean, you could have one argument where you say the products work and they're disgusting. You could have both of those things true at the same time. Shakeology, we've heard not great things about it. One, it's gross, and two, lots of people are having digestive issues over it. So, and hormonal issues over it. So something's not really on the up and up about that, in my opinion.
And he has said in the past that Shakeology is like 70% of their sales, something like that. Yep. It was around there.
Yeah.
And if you go to an affiliate, why would you purchase Shakeology? It wouldn't impact your commission at all. And so they would lose. I think a lot of the coaches would quit buying Shakeology.
I know I would.
I would.
A lot of the big coaches don't use it. You see these bigger top pyramid performers in Beachbody, and you see them with the bags of the different protein, and it's like you are requiring your downlines to pay to have access to your Facebook groups with Shakeology orders or large product orders, and you yourself don't even have the integrity to also purchase the same thing that you are requiring your coaches under you to purchase.
I mean, just like the post that was sent to me the other day about Lori, right?
Yeah.
She's got a code for a completely different protein shake.
Yep.
For her overnight oats.
So does Melanie Mitro. Melanie Mitro has one too.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm saying from a point of like where someone is giving up their hard-earned money to pay such an overpriced amount for a disgusting protein powder, and that's my opinion, but it's gross. And
It's
then
disgusting.
you yourself cannot like bring yourself to drink it. There is something way wrong with that. Oh, Carl.
A nutritional combination that's ideal for customers looking to improve overall wellness, improve mental clarity, reduce stress, and improve sleep. These completely unique new products represent a powerful lever to drive both LTV and near-term revenue as we market to existing customers who are predisposed to buying what Beachbody develops because they appreciate the quality of our product line. We also recently launched another fitness program called Lift More, a program that features super trainer Joel Freeman and is a follow-up to his highly successful Lift franchise. Response has been very positive, especially as we see men and even couples choosing to follow this 8-week program together. With respect to connected fitness, we also continue to drive higher LTV from demand for bikes across our subscriber base. Our focus remains on creating great indoor cycling content and an experience that is tied to our...
That's such a lie. That's such a lie. You know why it's a lie? Because you don't even have the good cycling instructor as part of your Tour de Pants little deal, whatever you're doing. Give me a break. If you were actually serious, you would hire or you would try to recruit the really good Peloton instructors or Soul Cycle instructors and have those people be the focus of and show people good form to work on from home. I mean, guess what? That's what Peloton does. Jeez. Carl!
Broad and deep content library. And
Damn
it's that
it,
content,
Carl!
not price, which creates the distinct Beachbody biking experience. Heart rate-based training with great content is our unique selling proposition. And ultimately, we're a platform powered by content and experience, and devices like the bike are the conduit to that experience.
No.
And soon, we'll be making it even easier for customers to join our ecosystem with an extremely compelling digital subscription offer. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the year. Now, turning to marketing. During the second quarter, our coach network continued to serve as a powerful and profitable driver of acquisitions and nutrition subscriptions, with high levels of motivation and excitement around this year's launch calendar. While we're pleased with our coaches' enthusiasm for reaching more people this quarter, we continue to pilot new incentives and training programs to enhance their role as brand ambassadors. For instance, with the recent launch of...
What training programs?
Yeah, what? He literally said he has a hands-off approach to their little Zoom groups or Facebook groups or whatever. He's literally said that on podcasts. So like, what extra training? You're just going to post a workout and hope people get the right form from that? That's what they do. I mean...
That's exactly what they do. I mean, just like with what Amy posted yesterday, or somebody posted, was it Amy? When you posted about how there's no warm-ups or anything like that when it comes to our workouts, which there isn't, right? The last warm-up that I remember, that was like, you do a warm-up, then you do a stretch, then you do the workout, then you do another stretch, was Insanity. Like, that was it. And that's why Insanity was 45 plus minutes long every single time that you did the workout. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't P90X have that too, where they had a warm up and a cool down or something?
Yeah. And I heard, so people commented on that and they said that 645 had it as well. And all of the coaches complained because it was too slow. And so they are taking it out again.
If you look at even, I reviewed the 4 Weeks for Everybody program, and I shared it with some of my friends who are also trainers and physical therapists. And the warm-up, everybody's like, the 80s and 90s called they want their warm-up back. It's like, you can do a short 5-minute warm-up targeted towards the workout very easily if you know what the hell you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that simple. And you don't have to stretch after. You should not be stretching before, to be honest. If you're going to stretch, you stretch after.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's what we did in tennis. And when I was training for tennis, we did kind of an active warm up. We were doing movements and we were trying to warm up the muscle groups. You wouldn't do like long static stretches at the beginning. You do like whatever. Okay.
And their warm ups are just to get the heart rate up, but you're not doing anything that's actually going to carry over into the workout.
Yeah, and it's like, what, you're listening to the wrong thing, Carl, because they're removing things because people say they're too long. But it's like the professionals need to say, no, this is the right way to do it, and or at least freaking hire some people who have a current licensure and certification.
Can we just say this? Like, how much of a baby are you to be complaining about the fact that a freaking workout is too long because it has a warm up and a stretch? Like, you can't fast forward.
Yeah.
Is there no fast forward button? Did they take that away?
You guys, I just found the best quote ever. When the company came public in its current form, Beachbody CEO stated the company's goal was to be the Disney Plus of fitness.
Oh,
unfortunately for shareholders on the ride so far, has been more like a Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my God, that's incredible. That's so funny. Oh, that's too perfect. That's too perfect.
Yeah, Vicky, 7 minutes. That's like all you really need. Like when I work with people one-on-one in person and we have the hour, we might do a little bit longer depending on what's going on with them. But in the programming that I deliver online to people, it may be 7 minutes max.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's important. Warming up is important. And then he's saying the one piece of advice he listens to is that people are complaining that the warm-up is too long. That's what he listens to. Like your marketing department is off the rails. And if it's just you, Carl, you need to get a marketing department. You need to just get like an advisor to tell you like you're going the wrong way. Like literally you can see the trending down is all like Beachbody has behaved their way into this. And it seems clear from the outside in or from the outside looking in, but Carl doesn't seem to see that. Carl does not seem to see that. God.
Select group of coaches the opportunity to participate in what we call a BOD group. That group completed the program with direct coaching and guidance from Joel Freeman, which has enhanced their ability to represent the program to their prospects. And a few weeks ago, we mobilized more than 15,000 coaches as part of our annual summit. It was our first summit in 3 years. And it was clear as we left St. Louis that the coaches were invigorated and excited about our
Autumn wasn't. She couldn't find any vegetables.
Offerings and the meaningful difference we can and do make in millions of people's lives. Our coach network is profitable and productive, providing a foundation for future success that no one else can replicate. Given the income earning opportunity for coaches, this proprietary sales channel also provides some counter-cyclical momentum to the business.
Counter-cyclical momentum?
During tough times, Beachbody is even more valuable to our coaches, and the income we provide becomes more important to offset pressure from higher costs or as a way to offset loss of income in other parts of their lives. But as you know, we have an omni-channel revenue strategy. Throughout Q2, we continued to successfully execute our direct-to-consumer marketing strategy, bringing our average CAC down by over 40% versus Q1 and achieving immediate cash payback on our media investments. LTV for our subscriber base remains strong, with a significant portion of new customers signing up for our annual membership, and we continue to capitalize on multiple levers to enhance LTV. During the quarter, we increased the price of BOD subscriptions by roughly 20%, with no material impact to conversion rates, reflecting the strength of our product offering and our ability to drive profitable subscriber acquisition through target marketing. We've also seen continued success in increasing LTV as we upsell our premium body experience to existing Beachbody On Demand subscribers. Our body users have some of the highest levels of retention across our user base.
I would wonder what that number is.
Digital subscriptions dropped 16% from 2021 in quarter 2.
That's a pretty big chunk. That's a pretty big 6%. Chunk. Pretty bold of him to say that.
He's probably looking at, because they didn't add numbers in for 2020 because of, the pandemic, whatever, panorama. I know, Cheryl, you call it the panorama, right? Yeah, people do. It's a 35% increase from 2019. So I think he's playing on that number instead of looking at in a year you lost 16%.
Oh yeah, he's definitely taken the numbers that he got from 2019 to 2020, like during the panorama. Yeah, panorama ding dong. That's what I call it. I mean, whatever. But anyways, but that's probably what he's playing on, because that's when people's businesses exploded, right? Like that's when I was actually able to become an Emerald coach again for like the 30th time.
Oh, hi, buddy. Oh my gosh, Amy's puppy.
Her dog is like, I would have called him he's like a teddy bear.
Yeah,
he's the best.
Is he still in a blood feud?
You would have so much fun with him.
He is still in a blood feud with the cat, and he's only he's 80 something pounds, and he's 6 months old.
Holy crap. He's going to be a big
Maya.
boy.
Can you see Maya?
Yikes.
A little bit. Here, let me turn off. Yeah.
There she
hi.
Say
hi, Maya. Oh my
so
goodness.
She also, the funny thing is that I see how Grover acts with your cat. Our cat won't have anything to do with her at all.
Wow. My little puppy Caspian, he has made friends with the alley cats, and he will come get me when they are crying for some snacks, and they like lay next to each other outside when they're in the backyard. He loves cats. Oh, Grover. Okay.
Yeah,
Everyone.
we need to have a play date with Grover and Maya. You need to come to Virginia. We have food here.
Do you have food? You know. Is everything fried though? Because that's how I prefer it. I prefer it fried.
Yeah. I mean, I live at the ocean, so there's a lot of seafood, so you can get it however you want it. But yeah,
I'm in.
Count as real food? I'm just joking. I'm literally kidding. I'm just being obnoxious. Oh, Autumn and Cat, stop it. Okay.
And we're expecting that part of the subscription to become a central part of the value equation in the months ahead. And with the completion of our platform consolidation this quarter, we'll now be able to market our entire suite of products, including Beachbody supplements, to our full user base for the first time, representing an important opportunity to drive enhanced LTV over time. Looking to the second half of the year?
No. Just because you now have all the OpenFit customers does not mean they're going to start purchasing your supplements, because OpenFit had supplements as well that, from my understanding, were better and less than
OpenFit supplements were the supplements created by Arnold Schwarzenegger's company.
Yeah.
Oh, and those were good, right?
And apparently they were better. And so the fact that he's saying now
and
that
cheaper.
More people are going to be watching the programs, and so they're going to see the supplements and purchase them. Dude, you're delusional. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. The weird thing is, but not the weird thing, the guy who started OpenFit was the co-founder of Beachbody, right? And so he created a company with better supplements, with maybe a more committed base, who wasn't doing the multi-level marketing, with doing the affiliate linking. So like all the things like that he was getting right. Then Carl came and ruined it. You know,
no, I think they fully planned it.
Well, they planned. And remember, OpenFit was still under Beachbody.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Dang. I thought it was he was trying to get out and he didn't make it.
They planned this.
Okay, never mind. Whatever your name is, John Congdon, no credit for you.
We're taking a prudent view of the environment.
Wait. They planned it and they still make something as bad as Shakeology? They created a whole good supplement line in OpenFit, which was still associated with Beachbody, and they still produce Shakeology?
But people didn't know it was associated with Beachbody.
His wife created Shakeology. He's trying to keep things good at home too.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, Carl. Your shakes are disgusting. I have to go pick up my container of that new flavor at my UPS box later today.
Demand patterns for at-home fitness could remain variable in the near term, with greater levels of uncertainty around the broader economic climate. Regardless of the macro backdrop, we'll continue to focus on profitable acquisition, generating demand through our compelling cadence of new releases, and tightly managing expenses. I'm incredibly confident in both our ability to manage through any near-term pressures, as well as taking advantage of the significant opportunity that remains over the longer term. Specifically, we're operating in what is still a large and underpenetrated market. The global dietary supplements market was $151.9 billion in 2021 and is expected to expand at a CAGR of 8.9% from 2022 to 2030. And the global home fitness category is expected to grow to $21.8 billion in 2026 at a CAGR of 9.6%. With more than 2 million subscriptions, our scale is significant in the at-home fitness segment. And our model, which is powered by content and supported by nutrition and community, is...
No way. There's no way. It's not supported by nutrition. It's not. I mean, you're kept almost hostage by the community. I don't get it. I don't get why he is able to like reframe it, but he does make up his own words about stuff too. And so do a lot of other coaches. So maybe it's just the culture over there.
I found some more like stats. So this is it's quant ranking over specialized consumer services. Beachbody's rank overall is 4,212 out of 4,661. Their rank in the sector is 488 out of 537. And in the industry, they're ranked 11 out of 14.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they're at the top.
Oh,
They're at the bottom of the top. Or the top of the bottom, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it all depends on how you draw your pyramid.
Yeah.
But-
And also, Carl's
Exactly.
probably going to reframe it and say he's the foundation of the top of the ranking. So, you know, like, give me a break, Carl. Good God.
I got to run the oldest to a sparring class for karate. I will be back shortly.
Okay.
Unlike anything else in the market, we're confident we can continue to generate demand with our content-driven model
I
that
sped
allows
it
us
up.
to pivot quickly to
Carl, make me
capitalize
so
on
mad.
emerging trends and needs.
Is that too fast?
And as the future of health and fitness becomes more digital, our unique value proposition is particularly compelling, given the
Sounds like
simplicity
the
of one
worst
platform and our suite
infomercial
of
of all
integrated
time.
fitness and nutrition products. And finally, we have a strong and collaborative management team in place with clear alignment on our objectives and all working from the same focused playbook. We've made several additions to the team recently, including Mark Sweetan, who joined as CFO a few months ago. In his first quarter as CFO, Mark has provided significant strategic and operational insight, identified additional opportunities to enhance efficiency.
I thought your stock price dropped 90%. I mean, is that really? I mean, it was still dropping when your buddy took over quarter two. So is he really doing a good job? And I'm not trying to shade on him, because I'm sure Carl is ruining all of the ideas that he's trying to fix it. But still, he sounds like a narrator of a Disney ride. Yeah, he does. We sped it up. Yeah, it is a sales pitch call. He should have said, this is what's going on. We tried these ideas. Some of them didn't pan out. Here's what our finances are. Here's what we're worth. Yes, our stock dropped. Here's what we're doing to rectify it. And let's open for questions. That's what he should have said. And that's just, I mean, I'm a nobody on the internet. I get it. But I mean, that would have been way more, at least meaningful to me, if I'd given him a lot of money.
And serve not only as a thought partner to me, but also a real leader of the finance organization.
His
experience and perspective are already proving to be invaluable in delivering on our strategic goals. In addition, we recently promoted Kathy Braybeck to the role of COO. Kathy joined Beachbody last year as Chief Strategy Officer and played a central role in a number of key initiatives, including the development
keep
and
her on.
execution of the One Brand strategy.
She's a strategy person, and then the stock price dropped 90%? No. Everyone needs to go.
Well, and it's because so many people were going. They've had to replace.
Oh, okay. Good point.
They've had to replace because their top people are jumping ship.
Hey, top people in jumping ship and Beachbody, if you ever find this video and want to chat with us, we'd love to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Including senior roles at Electronic Arts and Activision. Likewise, Irfan Ronmel has taken on an expanded role as our Chief Product and Technology Officer. Before joining Beachbody, he held key leadership roles at Disney, Hulu, Activision, and DirecTV. Uniting our product, data insights, and technology
Hulu is
under
not
his
a bonus
leadership
for that.
allowed us to make better.
Do you think he knew Dave Hollis at Disney?
Oh my God.
That would be the crossover I need.
Yeah, Dave Hollis and Rachel Hollis are wild. It is, I don't know if anyone listens to Kaya's World here, but she goes hard for Rachel Hollis, and her tagline is, it's something about being sad. I don't remember, but I'm new to her channel, and she goes hard for Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis, and it's a good time.
On the power of our digital platform. Let me sum it up with this. My confidence and the confidence of our leadership team is unwavering. In fact, our management team collectively purchased more than $6 million worth of shares on the open market during the second quarter. We did this as individuals for one simple, powerful reason. Beachbody's future potential is massive. The actions we're taking to make the business more efficient and productive, such as reducing our cash burn and increasing the flexibility of our cost structure, are allowing us to navigate the dynamic near-term environment. And with a strong leadership team and a commitment to continued innovation, we are incredibly well-positioned to capitalize on the significant opportunity ahead. So with that, I'm very pleased to turn it over to Mark for more details on our performance in the second quarter.
Thanks, Carl, and good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to join you today for my first earnings call as the CFO of the Beachbody Company. Before joining the company, Beachbody always stood out to me as a source of inspiration for getting people healthy and fit.
It's hilarious.
With an impressive
so
track
great.
record of developing amazing
That's
content
Kaya's
that turned its
deal.
trainers into household names. And in my short time with the company, I've been impressed
thank
with its
you.
strong, collaborative culture, willingness to evolve, and commitment to win. As Carl mentioned, we are operating in what is still a significant addressable market that remains largely underpenetrated. And we have the right ingredients to seize that opportunity, including the best fitness content and programs, a powerful coach network, and the advantage of being the only company providing a total fitness and nutrition solution. Since I started, my focus has been on improving our profitability and getting the company to be free cash flow positive. And we have made meaningful progress this quarter. As a result of our swift actions to pull more costs out of the business, we materially reduced cash burn to roughly $6 million in Q2 a nearly $38 million improvement versus the $44 million we spent in Q1. And we delivered adjusted EBITDA that was not only ahead of our guidance for the quarter, but significantly less than the loss we recorded in Q1. We have also taken steps to increase the variability of our cost structure. As a result, 75% of our costs are now variable, giving us greater ability to flex with changes in revenue. Looking ahead, I'm also confident in our long-term revenue growth opportunities. Given the environment, we're going to do more to manage costs in the meantime. To that end, I have begun a thorough review of the business and I've already identified several additional near-term opportunities to improve profitability moving forward. Here are two preliminary examples. First,
is that too loud now?
In our nutritional offering.
I was trying to boost the sound, but I tried to add an extension in, but I don't know if I actually added it loudly on y'all's end or not.
His part is kind of boring. Do we want to skip and we can read the Q&A?
Yeah, let's see.
Drive profits, and particularly the in-home thing.
Is that it?
Our first question comes from John Heinbockel with Guggenheim Partners. Please go ahead, John.
Hey, Carl, I wanted to start with when you look at the sort of the gross and net digital sub change, right? So digital subs, continue to drop off a little bit. So I assume the bulk of that is people dropping out, right? You continue to add new subscribers. I'm curious, right? So if you're down a couple 100,000, are you adding 300, 400, 500,000 and then seeing more than that drop off? And then as part of that, right? I know you're not getting much pushback on price. Do you think at least in the short run, because of the pricing actions you're taking, maybe the subs drop off a little bit more, right, between now and year end?
Thanks, John. You're right. The lapping the sort of the swell of the pandemic is creating these optics. And likewise, as we discussed in the opening remarks, we're seeing just an uncertainty in demand in the fitness space, and particularly the in-home fitness space. That's why it's so important that our cost structure be variable as we manage our way through uncertain demand patterns. But you're right. The cadence of launches that we scheduled for 2022 are tip of the spear for bringing in new subscribers. We're very pleased with the fact that the price increase has not had an impact on conversion. And I would say that in general, I think it's going to be steady as she goes. I don't expect.
He's not saying a darn thing.
I can't.
He's not.
He's so good. He's so good at word salad.
Yeah, he's not saying
and here's the thing, because he's like the cadence of launches that we scheduled for 2022 are the tip of the spear. In my opinion, the programs that are being launched are the exact same as the programs they've launched in the past. They just have changed the names. So they look the same. They're not innovative. They're not.
Yeah.
Listening to that podcast that you shared the other day, Amy, I listened to where Tony Horton was on there and he was talking about, he did in good authority say that, they focused all of their energy on Autumn Calabrese, which is a mistake in his own words, because they had Shanti, who was there, who was able to actually motivate people, inspire people, and people love Shanti. So why are we not utilizing Shanti? The reason that Shanti hasn't made it and they've probably lost their in with Shanti at this point, right? When they started going all in with Autumn, they should have went all in with Shanti. They should have went all in with him and people like him, because his form of the way when you're working out, you want to do it, right? But with Autumn, she's only talking about herself the entire time. Well, I can lift 10 pounds. Well, I can do this. And she doesn't shut up, and it's like,
and I think Carl made a big mistake, in my opinion, at Summit when he was talking about the new trainer and how amazing and revolutionary her program was with dance and weights and the combination. That is exactly what Shanti did in Let's Get Up.
Yeah.
So you're throwing shade at Shanti's program. You're not even recognizing it. She's not revolutionary. You just had one of these programs.
Yeah, they did not appreciate Sean when they should have, and I mean, and I just again, huge miss on your part of the CEO to not see the talent that you have and not at least have a good marketing department to listen to what your actual market is saying. Because I would bet if they actually tested their market at scale, people that Sean T would rank as some of the highest, like the one of the coaches that people love the most, and that they would stay if Sean T was putting out new content.
Well,
They would.
They also have a trainer. I saw a lot of buzz about this when they were going to announce the new trainer. They have a trainer who is in a larger body. She is not a tiny blonde, and I believe she's also a minority that is super popular on the body cast. And everyone was saying, oh my gosh, I hope he picks her because she is inspirational. But he had to go with Andrea Rogers, and they've been developing this for years.
Wow. It's a big miss. It is an incredible,
Lacey. Yeah.
It's a huge miss. And again, you're listening to him stumble. And I'm not making a comment about people who stutter or stumble. I'm saying that he's doing it because he doesn't have good answers for his investors. And it's showing that he doesn't have good answers for his investors. And he's trying to think of the best way to frame something instead of giving someone actual answers that would be meaningful to the investors. It's disrespectful, it's rude, and it's slimy. And I think, in my opinion, Carl Dykler is a snake.
Expect or forecast any dramatic difference in our subscriber acquisition, except we'll continue to pursue it in a way that is profitable. And that's what's a little bit different than the back half of last year, where we were spending into growth. And since the first quarter, we've stopped reaching with increased cost of acquisition, and instead are now back to our free cash flow model, which has really served the company so well for 2 decades. Does that make sense?
Oh, I hate it when people say that. Does that make sense? And if you do that, that's fine. They will say something they want you to accept, and then they say, "Does that make sense?" Instead of saying, are there any additional questions, or can I answer anything else for you?
The answer to Susan's question, yes, Lacey was the modifier in MBF. I loved MBF. I will be the first to say I love that program.
Yeah. I heard that one was great, and a lot of people are super excited for Sure Thing that's coming out because Megan.
I love
another
Megan.
Really good one.
Megan is really good. I mean, literally right before I quit Beachbody, that MBF and MBFA was the last 2 programs that I did, and I actually did that program over and over in 2021, because I loved it so much.
I just want to hear someone say,
"No, Carl, that does not make sense."
Yes, I hope one of the investors, and I don't think they will, but I hope, because this guy who's asking him this question is from an investing firm, I don't remember the name of it, but they said, this is so-and-so from this group. And I guess it's an investing group. And I would be nervous.
His Guggenheim Partners.
Okay. Guggenheim Partners. Oh yeah. It's listed on it's on this list. So it was John Heinbockel from Guggenheim Partners.
Yeah. And maybe as a follow-up to that, right, in trying to figure out the floor.
My dad would have a field day with Carl.
Right. So digital subs, I guess they were, 1.9 million, 1Q20, right? So are you comfortable that we will not go back?
Free cash flow model is cash flowing freely straight out the door. Dave.
The 2019 levels, right? There's some permanent customer acquisition here.
Yep.
And I guess now we are tracking below 19 revenue, but that's largely on the nutrition side. And I guess that's fine. But digital revenue would similarly not likely go back all the way to 19. How do you think about the floor here on subs and digital revenue?
Yeah, I think that's. I think you've got that right, particularly because we've added the BOD Interactive subscription to the portfolio, which is frankly the bright spot in terms of what we're seeing in terms of engagement and retention. So with the addition of that live interactive layer, I do expect to see continued growth in that one area.
That's largely on the disgusting powdered food alternative side. There, I fixed it. If you can imagine my dad is not the type of person He's the type of person that says, no, that really doesn't make sense. And here's why. You said this and that contradicts this. And you said this. Like, I've listened to him on calls before with his client, with like law firms and stuff. And it's not pretty. I mean, it's just, he's not the type of person to go, yeah, that makes sense. It's great. No, it's not great. It is not great.
Now, I can't, I don't want to send a signal that I can identify the floor, but I believe that like I said, I think we're in a very stable place based on our recruiting metrics within our coach network and frankly, the very strong performance of our direct marketing activities,
no, sir.
which
if you've left Beachbody because you've seen something from Cheryl or Amy, Jen, or Amber, can you send that information to Cheryl? Because we're about to hit Success Club 50 of people who are drippity dropping out of Beachbody. And
yeah, we're at 38 right now. We only have 12 more points to go.
Yep.
Which that means 6 people.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Love it.
Our expectations. So, I think that the current state of things is a fairly reliable place to be. Obviously, my goal and my job is to grow it from here, and I think we've got some good levers to work with.
No, your
there.
job was to not tank it.
And I do think that the business is stabilized, is the way I would characterize it. And like you said,
ooh, Bank of America's on this call.
Go ahead, John.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap!
All right. Well, what I would say, like you said, the difference in revenue coming from the nutritional files is, obviously something that we needed to address. In 2019, we had a simpler offer structure, which we were, sort of following the trends in the digital domain where you give people more choice for customization. But what we found in the fitness and meal planning and supplement category is people actually are looking for a little bit more prescriptive approach. And
you're not a doctor. None of the coaches are a doctor. They're not nutritionists. They're not registered dietitians. They can't prescribe anything. So they're looking for a more prescriptive approach. Go to the doctor if you can, or do a 1 month call or like once a month call with a registered dietitian. Where does he get off saying that people are looking for a more prescriptive approach? You can't do anything. You literally can't offer a prescription.
Hi.
Welcome back, Jen. We're about to lose our ever-loving.
I want to go back to Lacey Green for a second, because every year there is a fitness convention called Idea Fit. And this year she won an award for the Emerging Trailblazer of the Year. And Carl's not utilizing her.
Carl's a chump.
Because he has a type. He has a type.
Well, Carl needs to not make any decisions regarding the trainers. He needs to make no more decisions regarding any trainers, because if you cannot see the talent in front of your face, then something is wrong with your decision-making process. He passed on Lacey, Sean P. He pissed off Tony Horton. I'm guessing he did, and a lot of other really great coaches. And you're going to go with Autumn? You're doubling down on Autumn? Give me a break.
Variety, perhaps, is the enemy of decisions. So we are simplifying that. As we've also taken friction out of the funnel, we're also taking some choice and making a very specific recommendation. This is part of what we learned in the first half of the year with the successful launch of 4-Week Gut Protocol and its very specific nutritional recommendations.
She didn't even answer any of the questions in her group. Mad when people had questions. They didn't even develop a good program to give to clients.
I've seen the whole program.
Is it good?
No.
It's shit.
They're 5-minute videos.
What?
And then PDFs.
Yep. There's no information for them.
None. You listen to her talk and she pronounces stuff wrong. I have access to it.
Wow.
I've gone through it. I went through the entire 4-week program in 20 minutes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And again, he's touting it over here. And it's like, at least I hope that some of these investors, I'm sure they had to look through the programs and that's why they decided to give him money. But absolutely missing the mark, and the gut protocol way missed the mark, and especially how Autumn treated people who had questions missed the mark. And then as a CEO, you're saying, wow, that behavior is incredible. I'm going to platform Autumn even more.
Well, and how can you call it a success when you ran out of supplements at the very beginning of the program and you had to start giving people external things to purchase so that they could do it?
Wow.
Well, and they had to
Or
do
just said it
external
didn't
links.
matter.
They had to do external links for Canada and the UK and France because the supplements aren't approved yet in those countries because they have different standards.
So that was not successful.
Jada, I get that prescriptive means an enforcement of a method or rule. It also means it in the way that Carl has said things in the past. I'm talking about context of what Carl has said and what coaches have said, and them choosing to make medical claims about their own products, about what it can help on the medical side. I think contextually, he means prescriptive in a medical sense. And that's my opinion. I'm saying I unfortunately watched so much content from Carl and listened to so many Zoom calls on Beachbody. I think that while that is a definition, it's not what Carl means in this situation.
He changed the definition of it again.
Yeah.
He changes definitions frequently and someone calls him on it in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Repeating that in the second half of the
really?
year, we believe that will have a favorable effect on regrowing the nutritional files as we make it more clear what our recommendations are to the subscriber.
Don't make any recommendations.
Quick one, and then I'll yield. And I asked you this last time, right? Any thoughts on how you can de-risk connected fitness?
That's shade. And I asked you this last time. That from an investor, it's a little bit of a shade of like, I asked you this last time and I'm asking it again.
Just more, right? In terms of, and I know you outsource a lot of that, but in terms of getting the inventory and some of the capital off the balance, the balance.
For sure, Jada. For sure.
Is there a way to do that, or
that's easy? And again, it's like it's both, because there's people watching these videos who have never heard of Carl Dykler. Thank God, they've never heard of Beachbody. They don't understand the crap that's going on behind the scenes. I didn't understand the level of the manipulation, the horrible health advice, the horrible training advice, the audacity of the coaches to claim to be certified or to feel like they can prescribe nutrition plans or give advice or prescribe like nutrition and fitness plans to say, hey, this will help you with your miscarriages, or this will help you with your mental health. It's just,
or the 4-week gut protocol program helped Tanya with her menopause.
Yeah. So
and I want to say this. In the context of medical nutritional therapy, meal plans are prescribed. So it is prescriptive. It's medical nutritional therapy. And that is what gut protocol is very much on the line of being. And it's dangerous. And even the 21-day portion or the portion fix, same thing. It's a very, very fine line between giving somebody, here are meal ideas, you choose what to make, and telling you amounts of food to eat, and medical nutritional therapy, because we all know, even though they say it's not a weight loss company, those meal plans are written for weight loss.
Yeah.
And weight loss is considered medical nutritional therapy. In order to write meal plans for people to do that, you are supposed to be a registered dietitian, ethically.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in some states, anybody can write them.
Yeah.
They don't worry about ethics.
Yeah. And again, Jen is licensed in as a licensed
certified personal trainer.
Yes, certified personal trainer. She has other certifications she's getting. This is her full-time job, and I love like that she can speak to some of these things that are maybe the general public that is not aware of. So I really appreciate that. Okay, press play.
Well, it's the sort of the storm has passed us. We've got the inventory, and we're actually in a very good position because we're not in a position to have to support factories and purchase more inventory. We've got the inventory.
He's trying to make it sound good that they have a warehouse of bikes.
I wonder how many shirts have been given out this month.
Right?
Yeah.
It is not a good thing if you have a warehouse of product just sitting there. That's not a plus.
Yeah, if you're new to the Beachbody conversation, Carl Dykler, the CEO, is putting on this competition for his coaches. And instead of a financial reward for selling the bike or something incredible, he said, no, we're going to give them a custom bike jersey. If they sell a bike, they're getting a bike jersey. And it's only for the first 1,000. And then I don't think there was enough participation, so he opened it up to everyone. Is that what happened?
Yep.
That's not
so now he doesn't have to say how many bikes have been sold.
Wow. Sneaky, bud. You're so sneaky.
Great experience. What we've done, John, is pivot the business model. And what we're doing with the inventory that we have is focusing on creating great content and selling that inventory into the millions of subscribers who are already enjoying this content. So that's our focus, because obviously we don't have to chase a cost of acquisition like we do out in the open market if we're trying to start a subscription with a bike. That's
He's talking faster the madder he gets.
Problem.
But again, no one's going to buy the bike just because they are current like open fit member, and now you can market the bike to them. They know you have the bike.
Yeah,
they don't want it.
Yep, they don't.
I think he mentioned earlier how they were changing the subscription program. I have a feeling they're going to combine everything.
Yeah,
they're going to combine everything.
Do you mean like with body and everything else? Because right now, like you have to pay a separate subscription fee for body, right?
Yeah.
Don't you pay bod and then body's an additional fee on top of it?
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's super.
And I think they're going to do that, and then they'll probably have an addition for just the bike workouts or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is, you can pay a flat fee to Peloton app, and you get access to all of their workouts. So, like, you can pay for the app, and you can pull it up on your phone, and you can do the weight workouts. You can do the biking. You can do the walking. You can do the running, and you don't have to do something separate to log into your bike. Just one flat.
What if he might end up doing that, and then going, "We're better than Peloton."
Body is $25 extra per month on top of the streaming service.
What
that
the
is
hell,
so
Paul?
expensive.
Yeah, especially with how expensive their supplements are, and that they're required to buy all that.
The inventory sits there, and as you said, every time we sell a bike, that benefits the balance sheet. We don't have to go into our pockets to bring more inventory over. So the connected fitness business is sort of steady as she goes. It's our job to make great content and make a good business out of it and satisfy the super consumers who we already have in the database.
Thank you.
Didn't answer the question.
He did. No.
Thank you for your question. Our next question comes from Linda Bolton Weiser with D.A. Davidson. Please proceed.
Yes, hi. So can you just clarify, Mark, the kind of guidance statement that you're making for 2022 in terms of the improvement that you're expecting to make? It has the definition changed? Because I thought before it was EBITDA minus CapEx minus cash spent on content, and that would improve. Are you changing that definition? It looks like here it says EBITDA minus CapEx. So it looks like.
Oh hell! Are you changing that definition? Do not play with her. Absolutely not. Oh my god, I love her already.
Woman power.
That guidance statement.
Yeah, absolutely, Linda. The definition remains the same. So EBITDA less CapEx for technology as well as content creation. When we look at what was spent in 2021 versus how much we will spend in 2022, there will be a $110 to $120 million reduction.
Okay, so I think on the last call, in the last press release, you had actually improved the outlook to $120 million improvement. So I guess this is maybe a little bit of a step back. So is that just kind of maybe a little bit of a result of the caution over the macro environment in the second half, or is there some particular element of the cash spend that has changed to make you a little more cautious on that improvement for the year?
It's more the former, Linda. I mean, we've dramatically reduced our cash burn. We're managing our costs really aggressively. But as you can imagine, just being a bit more prudent with the outlook going forward from a revenue standpoint can impact contribution margin. So I think it's just accounting for that.
I know you haven't really given a lot of specific numbers, but in general, has your outlook for cash spent on content creation, has that changed versus last quarter? Is the projection higher or lower than your previous
She wasn't
projection?
talking to you, Carl.
It's actually coming down.
She was asking Mark this question, and Carl butted in. So if you didn't really pick up, I'm not trying to be like, oh, if you didn't pick up, if you didn't grasp it, what she was saying, she said in the last call, the projection was $120 million improvement. And in this call, they said it's $110 million improvement. And so she was asking, hey, why did the number change a lot? I mean, that's a $10 million difference. It's not just a little. And again, in the grand scheme of things, 110 million or 120 million, it's still meaningful for the investors. And so that's what she was asking about, because guess what? She remembered what they freaking said on the last call, and they tried to not get away with it, but they tried to like not acknowledge it, which is hilarious that they have smart people on this call.
Sorry, my husband disconnected internet.
Oh. You literally called that.
Down slightly. We have a baseline for the cadence. This is Carl, by the way. Hi, Linda.
She wasn't talking to you, Carl. She was talking to Mark, and you literally interrupted. Good God.
We have a cadence of product launches, which that generally is coming in at slightly below budget, but we are seeing some savings as the live content, Bot Interactive, has matured. So we got it launched. We've seen where
He's not sharing any numbers.
Pick up, and in the back half of the year, we expect to realize
no
some
percentages
of the savings from those activities, which are ongoing creation of live content, as we refine that system. So it's getting better as that part of the business, as we start to understand what's important to the subscriber and what's not important.
God damn, Carl.
And then
a lot of words for nothing said.
Yeah, literally nothing said. No percentages, no numbers. At least when Mark talks, he was talking and specifically answering her question, and Carl interrupted to deflect. That's my opinion, but Carl making me madder and madder.
I think on the last call you had talked about there being 7 major launches in 2022 versus many fewer last year. Can you maybe tick off like which ones have occurred so far in the first half, and then how many of those 7 are still remaining to occur in the second half?
Yeah, so we are in the middle of a launch right now. So I will say, so far this year, we've had the Job One launch with Jennifer Jacobs. We did a niche program called To Be Pregnant, which was a nutritional program.
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere.
Nowhere.
Protocol, which was a gut microbiome improvement program with a companion 4 weeks for everybody fitness
He's
program.
counting those as 2 separate.
Exceptionally well. Then we had Fire and Flow in the spring, which was the first time that you put a intense anxiety reducing every other day, an anxiety sort of relaxation program. And like I said, we're
can't say that.
You can't freaking say that, Carl.
No, the gut microbiome thing. Oh my gosh.
Dear God, compliance. If you see this, I hope someone sends it to you. Can you please have a private meeting with Carl and tell him what he can and cannot say? Because what the hell? And he's saying this stuff, and his coaches are saying it, and they're spreading it, and then they're getting people to sign up based off of misinformation.
And he had one this morning. His Shakeology, a picture of his Shakeology, and it says, "Every day I age a little, so every day I heal a little too." And he put his Shakeology up.
What?
No, sir. Absolutely not.
We also had while it doesn't count as one of the content drops, we did move all of the OpenFit content.
That's not a program.
And live rides over into the Beachbody library in July, which was our largest content drop ever. And our subscribers are loving all that additional value that they got.
No, they not.
No additional cost, effectively.
Send me the base group page.
Additional cost. God dang it, Carl.
Our first launch on the Beachbody platform with
literally Carl at the adults talk
from OpenFit. Her name is Andrea Rogers, with a cardio aerobics dance program in October. Then we have the new program called, well, I'm not allowed to say actually what that is, but we have another program coming in December.
He can say what it is. It's called Sure Thing. He said it at Summit.
Wow.
Why is he not telling them on this call?
He's being a little deceptive snake oil salesman.
In that, we also have complemented our nutritional offerings. And like I said, we are focusing the first transaction with the customer into the primary nutritionals that got people results with that program. So for instance, on the Lift More, which is a lifting program.
This is a lot of word salad for not answering her He's not answering her question. One, it's like the kid who didn't really prepare for the assignment and they're stretching out all of the stuff that they did do to try to make it seem like they did more, which, okay.
All she wanted to know was what programs have launched and what are coming. That's it.
And you said you would launch 7, have 7 launched, and are you projected to launch 7?
That's it.
Yep.
Could have been a
name the launches. Say that. Short answer.
Yep.
I actually have this conversation with my teenager when he's writing his papers or when he's talking. It's like, be specific. Just answer the question.
Yeah. Yep.
You don't need all this other stuff.
It's when you have to pad the word count on your university papers and you're like, okay,
to get to 350 words.
What else can I add?
I had to do that a lot.
For clarity of communication, you're telling the main idea at the beginning of the paragraph or at the beginning of the paper, you're telling, hey, this is what we're answering, and then you answer it in the paragraphs. And so he should have said, we've launched 5 so far this year, and we're on track to launching 8, and here's what they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you could have appeared way more competent than whatever this is, because this appears like you're being deceptive and you don't know what you're talking about.
Introduction, body paragraph, body paragraph, body paragraph, conclusion.
What up? Yes.
We're recommending what is called the performance stack, which includes a pre-workout and a post-workout. So we're very prescriptive about what's right for that. With the program called XP Sweat and Sculpt from Andrea Rogers this October,
we miss you.
We'll be prescriptive about a combination of
Carl's being a jerk.
Shakeology and pre-workout. And then we also have 2 seasonal Shakeology flavors coming in the second half of the year. One is chocolate caramel brownie. And,
it's because Carl is used to easily gaslit his participation marketers, so this is out of his comfort zone.
A beach bar, which is a chocolate mint beach bar, and the other Shakeology flavor is vanilla chai. So a lot of stuff coming in the back half of the year. It's definitely more launches than we normally do in one year, and that gives our coaches
the
a
dog
lot of
did
things
eat his
to
homework.
stay active about on their social media channels.
Okay. And then can you just say, my understanding was that seasonally third quarter revenue for the whole company is usually higher than fourth quarter. So is it fair to say that if you're projecting 150 to 160 million in third quarter, that fourth quarter will be lower than that?
Ooh.
You know, Linda, we're not giving guidance on the fourth quarter yet, just given the demand environment. But what I would say is, generally speaking, yes, it is usually a strong quarter. But with this whole pandemic situation, people wanting to be outside, we're being very diligent also in our marketing spend so that we get immediate paybacks. So that's why we're guiding this way. I don't think Q4 will be materially different than Q3 at this stage. But
one of the reasons,
and Carl's going to interrupt him.
One of the reasons, sorry, Mark. One of the reasons for that.
Sorry, Mark, but I'm going to keep talking anyway. Carl, this comes across as so unprofessional.
One of the biggest launches for us of the year happens in December. As we go into the new year. So we get the benefit of what we call our leadership event.
On the transcript, Mark says, but ... and Carl butts in and says, one of the reasons, sorry, Mark. He literally cuts off his own guy on this call and makes him look well, he's making himself look like an idiot. But that's just rude. Like, isn't that unprofessional to do, especially on an investor call? Carl.
And don't you think it's going to be interesting too? So he's like, yeah, fourth quarter shouldn't be that different. They are apparently launching an entirely new compensation and coach plan in October. That's going to make fourth quarter a lot different, in my opinion.
Yep. It's
So for him to say that, like, no, there's not a lot coming on. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of your voluntary sales force.
Yeah, your unsophisticated volunteer sales force, which
that's coming up soon, right?
Yep. Oh boy.
Yep, which is a big event for our coaches that happens in October. Then there's a couple of new nutritional launches that happen in the fourth quarter. And
you just talked about that.
Launch. So I will say that the two generally seem to be shaped the same way. That's been our sort of experience because of the strength of the back half of the fourth quarter.
He's the worst off the cuff speaker I've ever heard, especially because he's being deceptive.
But Linda's the main character. Let's be real. Linda, I'm loving Linda.
Linda's the best. And she's not playing into any of his gaslight bull, SHIT, Amy's channel, block your ears, bullshit. You know, it's just, It's just, I love it because she's saying, okay, I hear what you're saying. Here's my question. And she's asking specifics. And she, again, is referencing stuff he said last time. And then her questions are short. And in comparison, Carl's answers are double the size of her questions and sometimes 8 times the length. And it's just like, you're lying. Why are you lying?
What they're trying to push on it in Q4 is the elite push. So it's people trying to hit elite for the year.
I'm really wondering, what is that going to look like with the change? That's going to be the interesting thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be interesting? Yeah. They should spend marketing on areas in the United States where people are like where the heat or the cold would prevent them from being able to do outdoor workouts. They could reallocate that money and be able to focus. Not that I want Beachbody to be successful, but they're basically saying like the more recruits, the better, because they're basically our customers anyways. And they could at least have a better like, I don't know, outlook on their monetary stuff for different quarters if they actually took that approach instead of like crossing their fingers and hoping for the best that their coaches are going to sign up enough people.
Well, and let's talk about what Emma just said, because they're feeling the effects because people wanted to be outdoors, right? They would have launched an outdoors program. What was it? I think 2020 or 2021, they launched the running program that was outdoors.
30-day breakaway.
Right? Yeah. So the downfall of that program is, I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm running, I don't want to hear somebody talking to me in my ear the entire time.
I certainly don't want to
hear
grease. Yep. I don't want to hear
there's no music, nothing that comes along with that program. When you go outside, you have the outdoor audio, and that's her talking to you through your run. That's it. There's no, like, maybe there's like elevator music or whatever, but there's no music. I mean, I've done Peloton runs and even walks outside, you know, and
they're great.
One of my favorite ones to do is a Beyonce outdoor power walk. And because it makes me feel inspired, but they don't have that.
You know why? Yeah. Because they didn't want to pay for the royalties to have that music included on their app. I know why they didn't do it. It's expensive. And Peloton, literally Peloton is doing everything right in terms of creating an app and giving people what they want. And Beachbody is saying, oh no, we're trying to overcome this stuff. I want to see Peloton's numbers because I bet they saw a boost. They saw a bump during the pandemic and they're still seeing a bump. I would assume that.
Yeah.
God dang. Carl.
No, Carl cannot afford Beyonce.
Nope.
Beyonce wouldn't be.
Okay, and then
Yep.
Finally, so is my understanding in terms of this new debt financing that you will actually put that debt on the balance sheet? Is that correct? And if so, at what interest rate is that?
Yeah, Linda. So there's 2 components. There's the $50 million. We'll put that debt on the balance sheet, and then the access to the additional facility is subject to additional terms and will not be put immediately on the balance sheet. On the first $50 million, the interest rate is SOFR plus a component of cash and PIK. The cash is 7.15% and the PIK is 3%.
Wow.
And what I would say is this is all about creating liquidity on our balance sheet. This is we remain confident and comfortable that we could fund our operations through existing cash flows. This is all about just precaution and liquidity management.
They're out of cash.
So you're saying the interest rate is essentially SOFR plus 8%-ish?
SOFR plus 10.15 if you add the cash component and the PIK.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, okay, gotcha. Okay, and can I just ask you, you know, the other weight loss companies, Weight Watchers, MetaFast, they haven't been doing so well either, and they have different problems. I mean, Weight Watchers has membership. They're not gaining any membership, whereas retention has been good. And MetaFast, they're finding retention has fallen off because people don't want to order the second month of food. So if you had to characterize maybe your business in terms of the consumer and how they're behaving, like maybe you could give us a little color. Is it more new membership growth or is it more the retention that's suffering? Like give us a little bit more color on kind of what you're seeing.
Yeah. I would say that it's
Let
really
the other guy talk. You know, if you know, I don't have any kids.
Say I don't know.
Yeah. Say I don't know and talk to Mark. Good God.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Let me try to let's see. I'm going to send it. I'm sending Amber the link. 1 second. Oh wait, I hear Amber.
Yay!
Amber.
She's all back. Yes. Okay.
It started raining, so.
Just kidding. I'm so excited you're here.
Jada, I am with you. I am a Linda stan right now. This is fantastic.
We're incredible, Linda. I hope you get a raise this year. I hope you get a promotion. I don't know what you do at your firm, but we love you. We love you, Linda. Basically, Carl is talking word salad, and Linda is not having any of it, and we're here for it.
And Linda's the one that asks him the question that leads into the him calling the coaches the volunteer workforce, right? Okay, yeah. We like Linda. We like Linda.
It's coming.
Question. I think
that's a really good question. I don't know the answer, so I had to say that so I could give myself time to think.
Primarily, the activity of our network had more headwinds from this current environment as any direct-to-consumer company would have, exacerbated by the complexity of the nutritional offerings that we made, which that is what we're improving, okay?
No way.
Because we gave so much.
Because we did so much, people didn't buy it.
This is a real consumer-facing merchandising issue that, you've got this volunteer sales force, effectively. They're not employees. They're just trying to do their workouts and inspire people on social media. And
F you, Carl Dykler.
Did everybody hear that? Volunteer.
Can we rewind that and play that again?
Yeah.
One more time, y'all.
I'm rewinding it 30 seconds.
Consumer company would have, exacerbated by the complexity of the nutritional offerings that we made, which that is what we're improving.
The offerings were not complex. Nice try.
This is just a real consumer-facing merchandising issue that, you've got this volunteer sales force, effectively. They're not employees. They're just trying to do their workouts and inspire people on social media.
F you, Carl Dykler.
Seriously.
Volunteer sales force.
And the thing is, like, the cognitive dissonance is just so rampant in the coaching community that they won't believe that he actually said that, even if they hear him say it himself.
No.
Like, they'll come up with a reason, with another excuse as to why he didn't really mean what he said. But as we know, from what Emma told us a while ago, that Carl doesn't want his coaches to be educated.
Nope.
He would rather they not be educated. So
Screw you, Carl. Seriously. And again, the idea that you encouraged the dudes in Beachbody to treat women the way that they did on that stage when we reviewed the coaches with their speeches. Give me a break.
I'm so mad I missed that day because I had so much to say about that.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of misogynist creeps.
It's bad.
In my opinion.
I mean, I was saying on that Beachbody Husbands call that I wasn't able to grab before Dylan went and scrubbed it from the internet. There was a Beachbody husband on there who was talking about how he wasn't like supportive of his wife first, but then all of a sudden she started being successful with it, and hey, this helps keep my wife hot. This helps to keep my wife hot.
Yeah,
it was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
Ooh.
Like I just like if my husband ever talked about me like that, and his wife was sitting right next to him.
Yeah.
He said it with her sitting right next to him, and everybody's like, "Oh, so funny. Yeah, it keeps your wife hot." Like, the misogyny. If my husband ever said anything like that about me, he would be in deep shit. Sorry, Amy. Sorry, Amy's channel.
You can use that word. It's okay. But sometimes it's, as I tell my kids, sometimes it's the best word to describe.
Yeah.
But
oh my God.
Yeah. There's no words.
And again, if you're in Beachbody and you don't believe your ears, you can go to seekingalpha.com and you can read it and listen to it. I mean, he's on a call with investors from investing firms. He's on a call with Bank of America. He's trying to explain all the crap and why his company isn't doing so well in Q2. He said that. That's his perspective about what
he's placing the blame on you, the coaches, on you.
Which is why
volunteer sales force.
You're volunteers.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Not only are you 1099 contract employees, but now you're just volunteers.
Yeah. And we go hard. We really do go hard for multi-level marketing companies, and we don't like the business model, but you deserve a lot more respect than that. And especially knowing what he says about you publicly when he thinks that he's going to get a good in with y'all, and then what he really thinks about y'all in front of people who are investing in his company, that discrepancy cannot be overlooked. It can't.
No.
In my opinion. To know that your CEO thinks about you like that, give me a break. Give me a break, Carl. I'd say do better, but you can't at this point. You cannot.
He's going to keep, and he keeps digging himself even deeper.
Let's keep going.
Noli just said, if I was a volunteer, why did I have to give them my social security number?
Good.
Right.
Noli. Yep.
Why did I have to pay taxes if I made over what
$600
$600 a year?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
One time.
Yep.
Those people who are like, hey, I'd like to do what you're doing. They come in, they got a more complex offering as we've gotten more diverse with our product offering. And that's what we feel like what we saw from the 4-week gut protocol program is we were so prescriptive and so specific about what to get that program really hit its stride.
It did.
And the other ones where we're sort of offering a broader suite that, again, this isn't a sophisticated sales force. These are people.
No, wait, let him say one more.
Okay. Let me rewind it 30 seconds so we can get the whole thing. Hold on.
Because you want the next sentence in there too.
And those people who are like, hey, I'd like to do what you're doing. They come in, they got a more complex offering as we've gotten more diverse with our product offering. And that's what we feel like what we saw from the 4-week gut protocol program is we were so prescriptive and so specific about what to get that program really hit its strides. And the other ones where we're sort of offering a broader suite that, again, this isn't a sophisticated sales force. These are people, just regular people like me, just trying to get their workout on and put a little group together. And then when it comes down to, well, which supplement should I use? They're really relying on the company to be prescriptive. And
Carl,
your coaches are nothing like you. Do not say they're people like you. They're not.
No.
Yeah, the people that I've seen are working really hard to try to make a go of this. They're working really hard to spend their hard-earned dollars, keeping your business afloat. And to say they're an unsophisticated, or they're not a sophisticated sales force. These are people. These are people, just regular people like me, just trying to get their workout on and put every little group together.
Well, and to say every little group, that's also minimizing the groups. Those groups took so much work.
So much.
Yep.
And again, you are volunteering your time. You don't get paid to run a group. You get paid to sell a program.
Yeah.
And so you are volunteering a whole lot of time to run these groups. And he minimizes all of that.
Yeah.
All of it.
I cannot. Again, we don't like multi-level marketing, but it still is. I'm offended for the coaches who are still in, who are still giving this asshole the time of day because they are like behind the program and trying to make it work. And he's calling them that they're not a sophisticated sales force.
And that was all of us. I mean, because none of us were, at the top. So that was us putting our little groups together and relying and trying to sell our programs. Carl, he's like so disconnected from reality, as is probably all like the top 10, because none of them live like how we lived. At all.
No.
Well, none of them had to worry about, if you buy your challenge pack. I remember the very first time I bought my challenge pack, it was a choice between my challenge pack in 2013, or it was a choice between the electricity bill. Right. And I'm saddened to say that I chose the Shakeology challenge pack and just prayed that the electric company wouldn't cut our freaking electric off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was sold the dream. I was sold the dream. you know, and
because
that's what a lot of people are doing. And
because if you don't hit Success Club, then that even just 1 month, it messes up any other like possible rank advancement or anything that set up months down the line. If you aren't consistently, and for me, if I wasn't consistently hitting Success Club, you know, my coach didn't even want to be associated with you. So,
well, and keep in mind too, like then once you do finally hit a rank, you have to work so hard to maintain that because you're just in the qualification period. So you hit it, but then you have 6 weeks that you have to maintain it. And it is the most stressful time, just trying and trying and trying to make sure if anyone drops that you have a replacement. And he doesn't understand. He has no clue what he has done to them.
Yeah.
And if I would have heard this as a coach, that definitely would have been like the last straw. For me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep going back to saying how he keeps saying how complex their offerings were. Total Solutions Pack. You get the program or Shakeology, or you buy the program and the performance line. How is that complex? Yeah. You know why it's complex? Because if you want to get the ultimate portion fix and have access to that, you had to buy that separate.
For him to say too, you know, they are depending on us to be the experts, but then they refuse to give you meal plans. They freak out if you ask questions. So you don't have anyone to go to. There's no one to go to.
No.
You're just constantly running in circles for the correct answers because Carl doesn't want his coaches to be educated. He doesn't want them to. Emma asked him to his face about getting some sort of certification that would help them help their customers more, and he said no. He would rather they not stay educated or get themselves educated. Just put out what they give them to put out, and that's that.
And because that's that, and you're not able to answer any questions anybody has.
And don't ask any more questions. Don't ask any question that is dissenting, or
challenging.
Well, when you think about it, usually when you're educated, you know better, and so therefore you do better. So he doesn't want that to happen.
Yeah, now, and Noli just said this, now to even get the leads, you have to have a body.
Wow.
You have to pay to play.
Wow.
And emeralds aren't going to get leads anymore.
And emeralds don't get leads anymore. No, you have to be diamond.
That's wild.
That was literally the only way I made extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's what we're fixing in the back half of the year and into 2023. So I would say it's
fixing your sales force?
A bit of the environment that we're in. As Mark said, people are traveling. Now's not necessarily the time.
Affiliate marketing is coming.
You don't know how long you're going to be able to be out and about.
I mean, you have a subscription service and that you can pull up on your phone and work out, and you're saying that people are not doing the workouts while they're traveling? Not that you have to.
That was the whole
point.
Thing. That's the whole point of the Body app the originally having the Bot app for them switching over to it was like, oh, when you travel, now you don't have to lug your DVDs around with you.
Yeah.
Think about having a DVD
They're too busy.
player.
Ladies, they're too busy trying to find food.
Oh yeah.
Well, and also think about
that.
the complexity of the workouts now, right? Like back then when Body first launched, there were a lot more like programs that you could actually do when you're traveling, because if you don't have access to equipment, right, then you can just do T20, for instance, right, without the steps, or T25, or those types of things, just to keep you moving, right? They don't have that stuff. Yeah, it's on the Body app, right? But they don't have newer programs like that. They really don't.
The newest one would be the Job 1, but then you still need bands and some light dumbbells.
Yeah, they're missing. They don't. Carl's just frustrated, and again, in their policies and procedures, it specifically says, "Do not engage with people who have created negative posts about Beachbody because it tarnishes, Beachbody's reputation." So again, they're reinforcing this idea of not asking questions.
And again, that's what cults do.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Oh, Carl.
On the other hand, some of the weakness or friction in the merchandising that we're cleaning up.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks,
Thank
Linda.
you for your question. Our next question comes from Kamil Gajrawala with Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
Hi, guys. Good morning. I guess first a question on liquidity. Is there, with the increased funding, are you now and with the, I guess, changes in your CapEx and your cash burn rate, are you now past the point where we're thinking about if there's 6 months of liquidity left or 12 months of liquidity? Do you think this is sufficient, or is there perhaps you have to come back to the market?
Yeah, Kama. Look, what I would say is we already felt that we didn't need additional cash to make the changes we're making in the business.
He just said they did earlier on in the call. Didn't Carl say like they did all this stuff? They had to free up some cash?
Mm-hmm.
And then okay.
Yep.
Down to $6 million this past quarter. Really, the increment going forward is a lot more controlled from our part to make changes to our platform to position it for growth. And so this liquidity we created with this debt facility is actually not to get out there and spend it and fund our operations. We're funding all that through existing operations, all the changes we're making. So I think honestly,
so why do you take out the money?
So we don't foresee going out and needing any more capital.
Okay, great. And then can you talk maybe just a bit about the trends you're seeing on customer acquisition and such, particularly you're in the middle of this large launch. What do the costs look like in this environment versus what they might have looked like a year ago? Just giving us kind of a general sense on, is it getting more expensive? Is it getting more efficient? Can you just maybe talk a bit about what you're seeing there?
You mean the cost of acquisition?
Yes, customer acquisition.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that has remained steady, quite honestly, and it's not the primary driver of the business. The primary driver of the business is the flywheel is we create great content. That content is put in the hands of people who love
Elizabeth
what Beachbody
Holmes
does. They're called our coaches, and they put groups together that bring people together to go through that program. In this case, Lift More is an 8-week program. The cost of acquisition in the coach network are all direct, meaning we don't experience those costs unless a sale is made. So the only question is demand sufficient? And we're very pleased with how Lift More is doing here. It's not you wouldn't normally think as the summer as being the peak of fitness and weight loss season. And the approach that we took with this, because it's a sequel to one of our most popular programs called Lift 4, has really been to lean into this concept of the people who love Lift 4 to follow on with the sequel. Our network of coaches is primarily female, so it's been great to see that this particular program is also appealing to men, and couples are doing it together. So
are they?
Here we are in
really
the first week of August or so.
So he's telling a story, and he hasn't told us how many people are participating in Lift More in comparison to percentage.
I really thought he was about to say the quiet part out loud when he was talking about the main
driver
profit driver comes from the coaches building teams. I really thought he was very close to saying that.
So close.
Well, so it's been really funny. I don't know if you guys have watched any of the coaches who have been doing it as a couple. Yeah. The women are still doing it. The men are not. They may show up every once in a while in the workout, and then the women make sure and point out. They're like, "Oh, look who's back!" And it's like, yeah, he hasn't been there for 3 weeks.
Wow. Yep.
So do the investors know that this is a multi-level marketing company?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So from what I understand, when you go to these types of groups to get an investment, they have to look at all of your books. They have to look at how your programs work. They have to look at the model. They get access to all this stuff because they've given a crap ton of money to Carl, and then he has to perform on what he said he could, and then again on what the projections were. So they give all that information to their statisticians or whatever, or accountants, and so it's this whole.
Here's the interesting thing, though. So and this happens later in the call. Someone asks about the coaching network, and Carl says, "Yeah, I don't know that we publish the coaching number, or we don't talk about that." And I wonder if they get around that by them being 1099 contractors.
Yep, they do.
So they don't have to disclose as much information as they should to the investors because they're not really an employee. They're not really. And so it's really interesting. And even Mark says that too somewhere. He's like, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Wow. I'm going to tweet her. I'm going to tweet her firm on. I'm not going to harass her. I'm just going to say, hey, you're not telling me the whole picture. I'm sure they have people who find out more, but there's no way. There's no way they know.
One earlier or later on, and she's like, you did mention for Q1 your sales marketing out of 106 million. That was 70 million was related to the sales commissions to the coach network. How much of that is attributable to the 87 million for this quarter? So she's wanting the same information that they had provided in the past. And Mark says, we could dive deeper into that. Generally, we don't. What I would tell you is as a percentage of revenue, we've taken it from 62% to 48% selling and marketing together. So they won't give you any specific information about how much they're paying out in the coach network or how many coaches they have.
Wow. That's wild.
It is.
But it's just like Carl. God dang.
And I like it. Joanna's comment is, okay, that's fine. The women are showing up on this call. I'm just
women know the BS.
Pleased to see how that program continues to sell. It was launched in the last half of July.
We're speeding up,
continues
Carl.
to create demand, but in terms of the cost of acquisition, that is pretty much fixed because it's transactional.
Yeah, and Camille, what I'll add to that, if you compare to a year ago, our selling and marketing expense went from 62% of revenue down to 48%. So in that, you have that very variable component that Carl's referring to in the coach network. And then the balance around what we spend in the media space is highly disciplined. That will evaluate if we've been too aggressive there because we've been very, very diligent and aggressive payback. And then our third route to market is obviously cross-selling into our 2 million customers. And that I'd say we're refining and improving because there's room to do a lot better there. And we're working on it right now.
Okay, great. And then, with every company, we're trying to, the street's trying to work out what would be the implications of a recession. You guys have been around for a while. I respect that your business is a little bit different today than it would have been during the last few cycles. But can you maybe just talk about what you've seen in the past when you're in a recessionary environment?
Yeah, well, if there's one thing that I'm, after a couple decades in this, that I'm proud of about this company, we've been through three downturns. And first I would say, as any responsible CEO is never going to take for granted how you're going to do because you don't know what the demand patterns are going to be in any recession, right? But we have been fortunate enough to find great opportunity in those recessions because you've got, on one hand, people who are perhaps, looking at their monthly spending and going, yeah, do I need this $100 or $200 a month fitness membership? And as they're perhaps tightening their belts a little bit, that's when they might move over to a more cost-effective in-home digital solution. And we've
like Peloton. I mean, I don't. The wild thing about I hate to keep boosting Peloton, but here's the thing: you don't need any equipment for Peloton. You can sign up for the app, and yeah, there's a bike. You can get a bike from Amazon and do it. You could walk.
That's how I started.
Yeah, you can walk outside. You could run. You can do the weight workouts, and you could or you could not. You could invest in their equipment, or you can just pay the monthly fee for the app, and it covers both. So
as someone who started as an app user and then actually got the bike, starting with the app actually made me see the value in actually buying the real thing. But Carl, didn't you know Carl, he had the idea to do an at-home spin program before Peloton was even a thing.
You know,
Did you know that?
Oh my God.
No,
but just like they always do.
I have the recording of him saying it.
Yeah, he's always late. They're always late to the game.
He's behind, even though he thinks he's some
genius.
Fitness genius savant. No.
So I use the Peloton app. I don't have a bike because I do not like spin. It's not my thing. Don't like it, won't do it. But you can get a gym membership for $10 a month.
Yep.
$20 a month. Unless you want to go to Equinox and pay hundreds of dollars a month. The comparison he's using to go from that to yearly. The people who are spending $100 at Equinox can afford to pay $100 a month at Equinox.
Yeah. My Peloton payment was for the app, I think it's now it's $40 47, but I have the all access because we have the bike.
Yeah.
But it's like 40 something, but
It's $15 a month.
Yeah. And we actually did the Affirm payments on it, and we paid it off in a year. So we already have the bike paid off.
And I'm getting ready to do one too. And
yeah.
And it actually, the payments that I'm going to have, the membership is included in the payments.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Amy,
but even like a lot of people, I was gonna say a lot of people like check with your works, like because at Jake's previous hospital, they had like a fitness center on campus, and we got to work. The employees and family members got to work out there for free. So
yeah,
you know,
and some
insurance companies will pay for gym memberships.
Also, some insurance companies will reimburse you for the Peloton as well. The Peloton membership.
Peloton gym memberships. You just have to check with your insurance company whether you pay and they reimburse you or they just pay it.
Benefited by that a number of times. Likewise, our coach network actually gets more productive in a recessionary environment for two reasons. One, the household is trying to offset higher prices from inflation, but also contraction
inflation.
In primary income has this requirement of motivating them.
I like how there's inflation when there's talking to investors, but it doesn't exist when he's not talking to investors. It's
right? Funny.
To be a little bit more aggressive about how they might get productivity in helping other people get started with a Beachbody membership. So we sort of get this little bit of a tailwind that happens because of where we sit in the economics of a recession. But like we can look back to 2008, 2009, we actually experienced double-digit growth back then. And I don't see any reason for us not to.
We experienced double-digit growth back then, back in 2008 and 2009, but how come you cannot explain why you're not growing during the pandemic? You know, I just think it's interesting that you said, wow, we were successful back here and we can't show those numbers here. It's confusing. It
seems a little sneaky.
Yeah, a little fishy, Carl.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, Peanut.
A little sus.
To possibly be benefactors of the economic environment.
You didn't say nothing, Carl. Our next question comes from...
Thank you for your question. Our next question comes from John Comp with Baird. Please proceed.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Just one follow-up on the guidance to start, Mark. Would you be willing to just clarify what you're
His audio's bad, sorry.
For the adjusted EBITDA loss piece and then the cash usage piece, just within the comments that you've given for the guidance?
So the question was just one follow-up on the guidance. To start, Mark, would you be willing to just clarify what you're expecting for the adjusted EBITDA loss piece, and then the cash usage piece just within the comments that you've given for the guidance? Sorry, his audio was messed up.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Look, I'll say one, I would say most importantly, the cash usage would likely be comparable to the adjusted EBITDA. That's number one. Number two, like I stated, we do have a $7 million expense in that Q3 that relates to our coach summit.
$7 million for summit? That's how much that cost? Wow.
That's
well, I mean, if you think about it, they rented out the whole like Bush brew house and the stadium and all these other, extravagant things.
But not included in that $7 million was feeding the coaches.
No, but they didn't feed them.
Yeah.
Nope.
Coaches had to pay.
That's my thing. I went to Vegas with my whole sales company, right? With the whole sales board. And I know that it was like a fraction of that. I know it was about maybe $1 or $2 million for all of us to go to Vegas, but they fed us. They paid for our airfare. They paid for our hotel rooms. They paid for us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They paid for us to have extravagant things to do on our excursion day. What did they pay $7 million for at Summit?
To make themselves look good, I guess, and to screw over the coaches. God dang. That's frustrating.
What?
Man.
I mean, they're just hemorrhaging money at this
point. Do they pay for the top coaches' hotels?
Yep. Oh, they don't? I know they do the super trainers, I
They
thought.
do the super trainers. I don't know, maybe the top 10. I don't know. Emma, do you know? I don't know. Usually, because I mean, when we went to Summit, we'd all have to like get in a group and split, you know, the cost.
See, no, they don't.
No, they
So
don't.
what are they paying $7 million? Wow.
Just the rental
It was
stuff.
$6 for a Shakeology.
Oh my God. That's
But Amy Bailey just shared that it was $4.01 for a serving.
Are they allowed to do that? The reason I ask is because in the guidelines, it's, well, I mean, I guess it's Beachbody doing it, so it doesn't matter. But coaches themselves are not allowed to upprice things.
Cash usage would probably likely be comparable. And frankly, a lot of this does relate, like I said, to our deliberate and controlled investment in our platform and some of the changes we're making that Carl spoke about as well.
Okay, maybe just one follow-up if I could. It looks like the cash outlay for property and equipment for the year was about $19 million in the first 2 quarters. Could you maybe further break down what that's attributed to, and then what should
property and equipment?
The full year number be comparable to that $19 million?
Holy crap!
Yep.
$19 million for property and equipment over 2 quarters for the first 2 quarters of the year. Oh my gosh, that's expensive. Holy cow!
So John, we could dive into more specifics, but what I could tell you is year over year, there's definitely substantial reduction.
What was it for? That's not what he asked.
There's a technology component and then there's a programming component. So let's set up time where we could run you through the details of the numbers and give you that visibility.
Seriously, Mark.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe one broader question then, just going back.
My question would have been followed up, why can't we talk about it here and now? Because it's meaningful if you're using our money that we've given to you to grow the business and you're putting out $19 million over 2 quarters on property and equipment. I want that question answered right now. You know what I mean? He's trying to say I'm going to talk to you privately about it. No thanks. No thanks, Mark. No thanks. God dang.
Back to the cash question, but when you have expressed your confidence in sort of the current trajectory that you wouldn't need cash necessarily, can you just comment on sort of what's supporting your confidence? And
what's supporting your confidence?
As you see it today, like how many quarters out are you until you would expect positive, cash generation for the business?
Yeah, so John, looking at how we just reduced the cash burn from 44 to 6 million.
Cash burn was 44 million, and they reduced it from 44 million to 6 million in 1 quarter. Oh my God. What were they spending it on? People probably, and then they fired them all.
Exactly. Hemorrhaging money. Hemorrhaging.
Wow.
$1 in 1 quarter.
I don't even know. Paying for private jets for the super trainers can't be cheap. And I feel like
that. And also like with the mix bikes too. Like how much money have they lost with those?
Yeah, they definitely
they're not selling.
The ones that they did sell, they were lower than what OpenFit or what Mix was able to sell when they were their own company, or when they were not remerged.
Demonstrate that we have the ability to control our cost structure, right? And as Carl said earlier, and I said in my comment, 75% of our cost structure has been variabilized. So with that in mind, the deliberate investments we're making, if we could slow them down when we want, right? So that would give us additional flexibility if we need. And then all the initiatives I spoke about around nutrition, pricing, SKU rationalization, looking at our distribution network, moving processes to the cloud, all these things I spoke about, the benefits of all those kick in 23. So that's why I said we feel pretty comfortable that we could fund the business through existing cash flows, not through the borrowed money, if that makes sense.
And just for the revenue piece of that comment, if your business trended closer to 700 million from a run rate, top line revenue perspective, would that be enough where you could adjust the cost basis to be profitable? Or I'm just trying to get a sense of how much flexibility is that you're applying.
He's trying to like politely ask in the last 3 questions, like, when are you going to be profitable? And Mark's not answer. Oh wait, Carl's going to answer. God dang it.
Yeah. I would tell you, John.
He's going to answer.
We're obviously
it's Carl.
This is a healthy growing market, right? There's some short-term headwinds.
Oh, that's a mistype.
Coming out of the
Mark.
pandemic and the upcoming recession. But long-term, we're still believers in the long-term growth of this market. So we're still investing to position the company for growth. But if that doesn't come through, yes, we could definitely control our cost structure to deliver profitability at that level.
Why don't you do it now then?
Okay, appreciate all the comments. Just maybe last one, Carl or Mark. I'm just curious, what have you seen in the coaching network? I don't know if you can share kind of numbers of coaches and how that's changed, and some of the changes within the network over the past few quarters. Is there sort of a natural headwind just to growing the business until you anniversary some of the changes? Any color there would be helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know that we published the coach number, but I will say a couple of things have happened which were very healthy for the business. In fact, by splitting out the coaches, the definition of a coach, a person with intent to monetize their health and fitness, versus a preferred customer who's really buying into the concept of a discount on the product. So we split that up so that we didn't have people in the coach network who didn't have any intention to be a coach. That has actually.
Or Carl, did you split it up to hide the fact that your company is actually a pyramid scheme? Because you have more coaches than actual customers, because the coaches are the customers.
Yeah, I mean,
see through it, Carl.
They make a profit, or they have margin when coaches buy the product from them. Because in a normal traditional business model, if you're buying wholesale, there's some built in, but in a multi-level marketing situation, the product has so much cushion built in when the coach buys from the company that they are the customer. Because like that same, you're barely getting a discount at 25% or whatever it is if you're a customer. If you get that discount from a coach, or
it's not really a discount at all. Even with your coach discount, it's not.
Yeah,
$15.
Yeah.
But you end up paying that almost, right? Because of your monthly subscription for a coach.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, either there's something with the FTC going on, or they're trying to avoid something in courts, because Advocare had to restructure completely, and it was a big deal. So I maybe they're trying to do that, but again, it also sounds like they're hemorrhaging money. So it could be a lot of different things.
But by having that designation, we've accelerated the number of preferred customers that came on. Likewise, the people who actually intend to be coaches, we can isolate them, train them appropriately, and listen to them for what they're looking for. And that's the other dynamic. We've and I don't want to get ahead of myself in terms of what we're working on and excited about for 2023.
Jessica sent me a screen recording, and it won't let her cancel her stuff.
Oh, wow.
At all.
Wow. I mean, if you're trying to cancel, I would call or get on the phone, or like force them to they can do it on the back end. And you could talk to your credit card company if they refuse to make themselves available to do that, because holding your money hostage is a no-no for me.
But now we've got this clear view of what the coaches need and what they're looking for to maximize this opportunity for them. I believe we're going to simplify.
I thought they were volunteers, though, Carl.
That will help us achieve our mission of helping more people get involved with this community of health and fitness and taking better care of yourself. So stronger signal from the coaches, but at the same time, like I said at the beginning, they're operating in the same consumer environment as all of us.
Awesome. And, let us know, Jessica.
It's not a time that we can take for granted how easy it can be to generate a sale. So that's why we're taking the view that we are.
Yes, Susan, you do have to pay the coach fee every month, because if you don't, you won't be active and you won't be able to get paid or be able to hit SC. You have to pay it.
Yep.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Thank you for your question. Our next question comes from Joanna Zhao with Bank of America. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question. My first one is really trying to understand the Q3 guidance of the 150 to 160 million on the revenue side. I think the midpoint implies a 25% down year-over-year growth. Just trying to really understand what component of that is driven by the macro headwind and what component of that is driven by the reduction on the sales and marketing spend. So I've seen that the sales and marketing spend for Q2 is down quite a bit, as you mentioned, quarter over quarter to 87 million. How much of that is on the network payout, to your coach network? And what is your kind of plan for the sales and marketing spend for the second half of this year? And any thoughts on like balancing growth versus profitability?
Good question, Joanna.
So, Joanna, I'm going to try to cover all this. There was There's a lot of questions, right? On the first one, look, Q2 over.
There's a lot of questions because they want answers. They gave you money, and so it's not a big deal for them to ask a lot of questions. I don't. Okay.
That's literally their job.
Yeah.
So taking a more prudent view on Q3, given the macro condition, is why we set that guidance that way. And on the sales and marketing front, we're going to continue to be diligent so that we get a quick ROI on those customer acquisitions. So I would say the percentage of revenue that you saw in this last quarter is consistent with what you'll see going forward. And then in terms of profitability versus revenue, what I would say the investments we're doing are really more around things we feel our platform needs and our offering needs. So we position the company to get back into growth next year. So it's and that's controlled investment is what I'll finish by saying. Meaning, if ever we see like we need to slow it down, we could slow it down.
So there's no return on investment for them this year. It's all spend to try to position the company to be able to grow next year, which in general, from a business perspective, that's not necessarily bad, but coming from Beachbody, especially with their track record, especially with their stock like price plummeting, that doesn't really check any boxes for me. It mostly just waves a lot of red flags. Oh, and Carl's about to butt in.
I think one of the dynamics that you're seeing here year over year is the third quarter of 2021, we were aggressively selling bikes, and we were also investing in a significant media push, brand strategy, and acquisition. And that's when sort of the reality of the environment was really becoming clear. So what you're seeing now is a much more prudent approach and a reduction in chasing revenue rather than buying revenue. Now we're really staying true to what built this company over the course of 2 decades, and that is investing in media and acquisition that we know is going to generate free cash flow.
Buddy, Carl, what made you popular was good programs with great coaches. And right now you don't have good programs and you don't platform the good coaches. So it's literally that simple and you've refused to look at it. God dang. And I hate when Carl talks. He just is like, it literally sounds so much like Elizabeth Holmes when she's trying to explain scientific things to scientists at these big conferences. And you listen to her stare you down and say nothing. It's...
And that's been the fundamental of the business since we started it. And that's why we're taking this view of, if we're going to sell bikes, we're going to sell it into the database. We're very good at generating digital subscribers in a way that is at a good relationship of CAC to LTV, and we take advantage of this.
Another educated, strong woman asking a solid question. Poor Carl's brain is going to implode.
It really will.
Yep.
Positive relationship we create with those subscribers and sell them a bike, and we don't have the same cost of acquisition. So while that'll be a slower rate of bike sales this third quarter as compared to last third quarter, the economics of those sales will be much more favorable. Does that help answer your question?
No, it doesn't, Carl.
No, they released the bikes like a year and a half ago. They merged with Mix in like, when was it? It was like end of 2019. When was it? I did videos of it on my
I think it was in 2020.
It was 2020.
Late 2020.
So, yeah, where they announced it. So they've been, have merged with Mix and been doing this Mix thing for, almost 2 years. And the bike numbers, I don't think they even were successful from the very start, because the only people who were buying the bikes were the coaches.
Yep.
Well, think about when they launched it. Okay, like they missed it. 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, that's when Peloton went crazy, because the fact people couldn't go to the gym, we couldn't do anything. We had to stay at home and work out, right? So they wait until when everybody's hoping to get back to normal to launch their bikes.
Yeah. They missed it. They literally missed it. They could have redone programs and made programs in-house where you didn't have to have weights, you didn't have to have bands, you didn't have to have benches, so that the people who were looking to work out could immediately say yes to their online platform. And it could have been like an at-home section where you don't need a damn piece of equipment. And he's like, okay. And like Cheryl said, he missed the mark on doing the bikes. He waited way too long. And then Jen said, what I'm hearing is they're going to try and sell current subscribers on upgrading to a bike. Yep. Bad plan.
But remember, Carl had the idea to do an at-home spin program before Peloton was even a thing.
Carl, you can't just say stuff.
He just says everything.
Yeah, mix up your own words, mix up your own definitions. Got it.
Q1, your sales marketing out of 106 million, that was 70 million was related to the sales commissions to the coach network. How much of that is attributable to the 87 million for this quarter?
Joanna, we could dive deeper into that.
In private.
What I would tell you is, as a percentage of revenue, we've taken it from 62% to 48%, selling and marketing together. And then sequentially, from Q1, you did see a pretty nice reduction in overall spend by 19%. We don't usually disclose how much of it is coach compensation versus media acquisition.
You need to. You absolutely need to, Mark. So if you
can't leave that out.
Yeah, it's literally the heartbeat of your business. The coaches are the heartbeat of your business, and maybe Shakeology too. So Joanna asked, yes. And then did you mention for quarter 1, your sales marketing out of 106 million, that was 70 million was related to the sales commissions to the coach network? How much of that is attributable to the 87 million for this quarter? So they could have said, okay, here's the percentage of what we paid out to coaches. And he said, well, we normally don't talk about it. Well, they talked about it a few years ago I don't know.
And why aren't they talking about it now? Because again,
they lost a bunch of coaches.
Something fishy's happening behind the
Yep.
scenes.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. And then
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. My next question is on
That's
the
not
big
fine.
bike segment of the business. You mentioned in the last quarter earnings call that your focus is to increase the margin closer to the break even for the rest of the year. Do you feel that your plan is still on track to meeting the break even target by the year end, or has that been pushed out? And what are your plans with the mixed bike business if the margin doesn't really or cannot get too close to break even? Have you thought about potentially divesting that bike business?
Have you thought about potentially getting rid of the bike business if you can't get it to the break-even point? Good question, Joanna. All of the smart, intelligent women who are asking amazing questions on this call, incredible. And
Can you imagine if they do like cut ties? Like, there's going to be a lot of pissed off coaches.
Oh, yep. There totally is.
Yeah, Joanna, look, what I would say is, first of all, in the gross margin, a substantial portion of the negative gross margin was related to non-cash reserves, 15 out of the 20 million. So one, it makes it look a lot more negative than what it is. Number two, when we look at the holistic view of a bike customer, we don't look at it just as the upfront bike sale. We look at it more as the bike sale plus the monthly subscription, and the retention and engagement tends to be higher, which is a positive in that LTV formula. And then, I think in terms of trying to make sure we're not participating in price wars to create more negative margin on that front, given the market situation, this is where, the good thing about us is we could sell it to our existing customers, right? So I think trying to push that way reduces the customer acquisition cost, which has a positive impact on the gross margin.
Thank you for your question. There are no questions waiting at this time, so I'll pass the conference back over to Carl Dykler for closing remarks.
God dang.
Okay, well, I appreciate everybody. We ran a little bit over, but thanks everybody for joining us today, and thanks for your interest in the Beachbody Company, and we look forward to talking to you again next quarter. Thanks, everybody.
Your interest in the Beachbody Company, they invested in your company. It's not just interest. I mean, yeah, they're interested, but they didn't just show up like
millions of dollars, Carl.
Yeah. Come on. Give me a break, Carl. Give me a break. If y'all want this link, because we're not hoarding information here, live chat, there's a link for the call. I'm going to quickly put it in the description. I'm going to put it in the StreamYard description for everybody while we're still live, so y'all have it.
Yeah, Noli, exactly. He couldn't wrap that up and run away any faster.
Yep.
No.
Toward the pants, liar, pants on fire is more like it, Carl.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that'd be such a good reel.
We should.
There is
actually,
a liar.
I think Tour de Pants is starting soon, is it not? Isn't the Tour de Pants starting soon?
All right. Yes, it's either starting soon or it's about to start. Save changes. Okay. Oh no.
Emma said they put the coding for the bike in Chinese so it can't be hacked to switch. And she knows that because her husband is a computer hacker.
Wow.
Are y'all ready? Y'all ready?
Yep.
Listen.
Yep.
Lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
Oh,
lies,
yeah.
Lies, and more lies.
I just sent that to you all. Somebody make one.
Okay, good. Okay, love it. I'm gonna send you this link for y'all so you can update your descriptions on your YouTube deal so other people can click on it. Because the whole point is like Carl actually said all this stuff. It wasn't us like voice changing it. He said it on an investor call. Carl. God
dang it, Carl.
My twang, my Texas twang is getting me in trouble, and I'm just God dang. Carl's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. He doesn't say a damn thing. He doesn't. Sorry, Amy's channel. Sorry, he doesn't say a darn thing. I mean, Mark should have led that call, and Mark also was evasive too. So
too many smart women asking real questions.
Yes. Yep.
He's not used to that.
Hopefully, we're gonna be able to do more snarking upcoming. I don't know what y'all think about that, but I think we were wanting to do maybe something every 2 weeks, or I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I would love to do more snarking.
Yes, I'm always down for more. Yes, because because the gifts just keep on giving with this company. So
it really does. I mean, yeah.
Yep. If y'all also live chat, if y'all missed the unlisted link for Ashley Molstad's Patreon podcast and you want it, you can DM me on Instagram. I will just want to verify your YouTube account because I'm trying to like not get sued by Ashley right now. So I am going to turn it public eventually. I'm just kind of gaining the courage to do that.
When are we snarking on our past hun selves?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Snark-tember.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. We could put a little scarf on our scarf.
We could do like 2 videos a week, 1 to 2 videos a week. One where we like snark on whoever's we feel like
the topic of the week.
Yeah. Yep. And then one where we snark on ourselves.
Yep.
Or Snark-tember is great. I love it.
Yep.
Go eat some vegetables, Cheryl. I'm gonna find some. Don't you worry.
Yeah, in that food desert you live in, where you don't have access to any healthy food. Oh my god.
We do have some, I promise.
Gosh dang. Kat, I mean, I don't know. I don't understand why they're so set that they can't find healthy food anywhere. It's just
because like someone said, because of the survey that went out that was asking if customers would be interested in like a meal service, meal delivery service. I totally think this is why Autumn and all of them are like, oh, I cannot find healthy foods while traveling. It's setting up for the launch of the meal delivery stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am gonna try. I ordered the vanilla chai. I need to try the other ones. If you know someone who has the seasonal ones and I can buy like just one thing, because freaking Shakeology tub's expensive and then I gotta return it. So
Vicky, we can snark on Autumn all day. I have quite a few videos on my YouTube where they're just dedicated to Autumn. So.
Yeah, and Jen, I DM'd Kat. She has not responded to me yet.
Sweet. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play the outro. And it's been incredible. I love snarking with these ladies. Live chat, you've been great. Replay crew, leave us your comments, please. And if you liked the video and you haven't liked the video yet, we would love for y'all to like the video on whatever channel you're watching it on. And filler word for the outro. Just kidding. We will be live streaming again soon. We'll let you know when that's going to be. Just pop in on our stories, and go eat something unhealthy for Autumn Calabrese and Carl, and enjoy your weekend, and don't join a Zoom call. You don't need that nonsense in your life. Just enjoy your time with your family if you can.
And don't join an MLM.
And don't join an MLM, as Aaron B says.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.